All right, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome. If you're new, that was Irfan. Told you I like that song. Very good. Very good. Yeah, we're live a little bit earlier today. Excuse me. And of course, Rich Rod is here, nice and early with a $2 direct donation. He says, "Can't believe we met at the Freehold GameStop with you trading your Pro in for a Series X just to not play GTA on the PlayStation platform. I am saddened by this." Yes, I know it was quite the meeting, quite the interaction me and Rich Rod had. He was very disturbed. I think I ruined his week. Yeah. Like, he wanted to be happy because he's like, "Wow, we're finally meeting," but the circumstances under which we were meeting, he was like just crushed. I could see it in his eyes. I'm sorry about that. Yes. Oh man. All right, let me head back to the chat. Wait a second. Hold up. I can see Michael Worth's chat here. He says, "Good morning, all you beautiful and sexy people." Good morning, Michael. Why can't I see it on my on Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, my chat was acting weird for a second. No. It's an Arcand. You're saying, "Why are you live early, man? Something serious to announce? New channel name?" Yeah, nothing like that. I'm actually live early today for the opposite reason. I'm I have stuff I got to do later in the afternoon, so I figured, going live early today would probably be the best thing to do. Probably not going to be around for tomorrow, probably tomorrow or Saturday. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'll update you guys. I told you I was, had my doctor's appointment yesterday. It went well. It went well. You'll be happy to know. But I just wanted to do like a really chill, really relaxed stream today, just kind of chatting with you guys about whatever it is you want to talk about. If you want to talk about PlayStation, talk about Xbox, you want to talk about other gaming related stuff. So I'm just kind of leaving it open, you know? No, yes, Michael, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. I'm glad you picked up on that. Um, Lady Gamer says she's not selling her PS5. Don't sell it. If you're happy with your PS5, don't sell it. Beezer with a $10 super chat. Thank you for that, buddy. He says the reason for Sony going all digital has been discovered. Look up the newly approved Sony stablecoin. Sony wants you to pay in their crypto for PlayStation purchases. I saw that. What a joke, dude. Like, I was waiting for that to be disproven, to be like a literal joke, like it wasn't real. But no, apparently it is real. Sony is is going to be putting out their own crypto coin, man, and I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Everyone stop pressuring him about his Xbox decision. Stop pressuring me. Stop pressuring me. I can't deal with it. The dude, yeah, no, Beezer's not kidding. Apparently Sony, I don't know too much about the whole crypto side of it. I don't pay much attention to that, but it apparently is confirmed that Sony is doing this with their own bank. So, what that's going to mean for PlayStation, I don't know, man. Do we have to have that dirty word Xbox in the thumbnail? We do. I feel like Xbox has been getting off the hook kind of easy, right? Yeah, no, I did not trade my PS5 Pro in for a Series X. That would be insane. I would never do that. As many problems as I have with PlayStation, there ain't no way I'm getting rid of a Pro to downgrade. Like, come on, you know? Could you imagine? Somebody probably did that though. But yet. Yeah, I got rid of everything. No, I mean, look, man, it's been a crazy couple of weeks, but I just I don't know how many of you guys are gonna feel the same way I do when I say this, but like I just love games too much, man. You know? I'm like sad and depressed. I'm like sitting there looking at my trophies, going down memory lane, and I'm like, why? Why's it gotta be like this, man? But but yeah, I mean, we'll talk. We'll just talk about whatever we want to talk about today. But I gotta just say, like, I feel like Xbox has been getting off the hook too easily these days. Like, I feel like every day I go online, and of course there's the whole situation with PlayStation with the physical games, and people still, very upset about that, understandably so. But then I see all these like different things about Xbox coming out, where it's like it just gets worse and worse and worse. I'm like, what the like it's kind of becoming clear that like they were like, oh yeah, we're letting these 4 studios go, but we're not canceling anything. It's like, okay, that's good news. But they're like ripping to shreds and gutting like all of their studios practically, like the majority of them. And I'm like, oh, okay, like this is kind of bad though. Like this isn't good. This isn't good. Um, Let me see. Yeah, I'm gaming full time on Amazon Luna. How'd you know? How'd you know, Rich? How did you know? Yeah, it's crazy over there on Twitter. When's my birthday? My birthday isn't till September 30th to be exact. I'll be 33, which is so weird to think. I'll be 33 come September 30th. Um, you're getting a Wolverine game from the PlayStation Store. That's okay. That's okay. I'm not gonna. I don't know, man. I've still been, I've still been holding out hope. You know, I've been holding out hope that PlayStation's still going to reconsider and change their mind on this decision, and it doesn't look like they're going to. And it is disappointing. It is disappointing because it just sucks, man. Like I mean, look, things have got we've gotten crazy. Everybody's gotten crazy over the last couple of weeks, but it just I don't know. It's like I said, not to sound like such a broken record, but it's like it's just so forced. It's so forced, man. Like we don't need to do this right now. We don't need to do it right now. That's my whole thing with this. That's my whole thing with this is like why not just let it happen on its own? Everybody like if it's true that everybody's going to go digital, just let it happen. Just let it happen. Why force it? Why kill it? Roblox just announced turn text prompts into basic games. Future of gaming is making the games, not these overflowed studios with agendas. Yeah, well, yeah, that is interesting, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're right. People are going to be able to just make their own games. But I'll give you guys an update on my health situation, just because I know a lot of you guys are really curious, and I've been talking about it for months now. So generally speaking, I think it's all good news, mostly good news. But I did have something confirmed that I had suspected for a while. So for those who don't know, back in April, I think it was like the last week or two of April, I just woke up one day and I had this horrific pain in the back of my neck. Felt like, and it went down my back, into my rhomboid and that whole area, and I like couldn't move, and it was like 10 out of 10 pain. Felt like I was like there was literally a knife in my back and in my neck. And I mean, if you guys have been watching, which I'm sure many of you have, if you've been watching the streams over the last about 3 months, you'll know I've just been a constant problem, constant pain, can't get comfortable. Sometimes the pain would get so bad, it's like I can't even stream, I can't even sit, can't stand. All I could do is lay down. Had to stream from the sofa, for like a week or two at a time. And so, I had an MRI done and I saw the neurosurgeon yesterday. And so basically, here's what you need to know. Uh, Number one, as of right now, I do not need surgery, which is great news. Um, there's no clear signs that I'm going to need surgery. And if that is something that ever happens, it's going to be definitely way in the future, but it's looking unlikely. So that's a relief. The second thing, and this might be like probably the most important because this is like the big reason I got the MRI done. My spinal cord is not being compressed at all based off of the MRI. There's no compression of my spinal cord. It's looking healthy structurally, everything. So basically, everything is good except for one thing. The one thing that was confirmed is I do have a severe disc herniation and rupture um, in my C6, C7, which is, you know, the key word being severe. That's why it's lingering for so long. That's why I'm going on month 3 of still being in pain, still having problems. And from my understanding, and after talking with the doctor, basically it's like there are signs that my body is healing, such as I don't have numbness and tingling in my fingers or down my arm anymore, but I still have a lot of pain. So, they're referring me to pain management. I might have to get injections and stuff like that. But it looks like based off of the progress I'm making, my body is going to be able to mostly heal on its own. The neurosurgeon was explaining to me that when it comes to the spine, every body is unique. Every person has a different situation. But the fact that, I'm waking up in less pain in the morning and there are like these subtle signs that it's getting a little bit better here and there. Um, this is all a good sign that this herniation will be able to heal itself. The problem, though, is because it's a severe herniation, it's probably going to take over a year. Like it's going to take a long time, and I'm going to have to do physical therapy. I'm going to have to, be very, very careful if I choose to do any type of exercising to not re-injure it. And, I have to basically treat it. It's what I suspected a couple months ago. It's like I have to treat this like a very severe injury that's going to take well over a year to heal, maybe even longer than that. And I got to work with my body here. So, it's very good on one hand because it's like not so serious that I'm going to need emergency surgery and like my life isn't going to be completely flipped upside down, which is great to hear, obviously. But on the other side, it's like it is still a pretty bad injury that's going to take a very long time to recover from. And the thought is hopefully the worst of it is behind me. I think the next 3 months are going to be where I potentially make the most progress, depending. But that's where I am right now. And so the other thing I'll just let you guys know about too, because I'm sure you saw me a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I like woke up with this insane dizziness all of a sudden, and I had to like make sure I wasn't stroking out, and I'm like, oh great, what happened to my neck now that I'm getting dizzy and getting vertigo? The good news is that has nothing to do with my spine or my neck. I'm just that unlucky. I just happen to have some type of vestibular problem, more than likely from some kind of virus that affected my inner ear. So, that's good news as well, which means it'll probably go away on its own. So, all in all, not too bad. Still in pain. It's going to be rough, but I feel a little bit better. I got to be honest. Like, I feel relieved that, like, okay, so basically all I have to do is deal with the pain, let my body take its time healing, listen to my body, and do some physical therapy and, try to maintain my mobility. Okay. It's from the cats, Irfan. It's from the cats. Let me see. William, you're saying MBG try getting a ring dinger. Never heard of that chiropractor adjustment. It's done by 2 poles holding your waist in place, and then they pull your head and make your spine straight. I don't think I need that, William. Like that sounds insane to me. That's the good news is like my spine is straight. Like there's no structural issues. There's just like very mild stenosis and straightening. I think mainly from my muscles tensing to protect the structure of my spine. And so that's good. Like I don't necessarily need like readjustments. It's just I blew out a disc, you know. At some point probably when I was clearing out my garage or when I was clearing out my basement, I did some kind of movement where my disc just ruptured. And the just for those who are interested in knowing the difference between a disc rupture and herniation versus like a disc kind of slipping a little bit is your disc can bulge from your spine slightly and you might not even know it, or you might just have mild pain and discomfort. The real problem is if the disc actually ruptures, that means the soft gel-like material, like the cushion-like material, I don't know what it actually is, but it's inside of your disc. It actually leaks out, and like your body freaks out basically because it recognizes it as a foreign substance, and that stuff leaks out, causes mass inflammation, triggers your immune system. Your body handles it literally like you have a severe infection. In some instances, it sends a bunch of cytokines to try to eat it up and remove it from your body and recycle it. It takes months, but that's what causes like the vast majority of the pain. But then at that point, once your body clears out the jelly like stuff and the tissue, then it has to actually try to heal the disc, shrink the disc, dehydrate the disc. It's the whole. It's really interesting. It's really interesting to me that the body kind of knows what to do, but it's extremely painful. It takes a long time, and it's kind of a somewhat permanent. But basically, after it clears out all that crap, your body will try to, in its own way, like shrink the disc and make more space, because the reason why disc ruptures can be some of the most painful things you experience, because when it ruptures, it's literally applying pressure and squeezing your nerve root that leaves your spine. So it's just straight up nerve pain. It's a crazy thing, man. It's a crazy thing. So take care of your neck, take care of your back. All right. If you're lifting, be careful. Learn from me. Learn from my mistake. You actually had to do physical therapy for an injury, and it still took a good year. Have no pain in that area. Yeah, that's what it's looking like. It's going to be for this situation. I do notice that the pain is less in the morning. It's less at night now. But believe it or not, and this sucks to admit, but it's just totally true. My pain is the worst when I'm streaming. Like, I hate to say that because it's like, obviously I have to stream, but like I notice when I'm just kind of standing still or sitting still for like an extended period of time, like my pain is the worst. To whereas if I'm like moving around and doing shit and, lying down or whatever, like it's pretty much relieved, or mostly gone, or drops down to like a 1 or 2 out of 10. So that's going to be that's been the tough thing. I know it sounds so stupid because it's like, this isn't a difficult thing to do. I'm streaming, I'm talking to a camera. In this particular instance, it kind of is a little bit difficult, but we'll push through it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to either go no camera occasionally, or I'm just gonna have to bring in like a bed. I'm just gonna stream from the bed, laying down. We keep making that joke, but it's like, I don't know. It's pretty wild how the body repairs itself. It's almost magical if you really think about it. It is crazy. Yeah, like it seems like with disc ruptures, the most difficult part, for a lot of people, like there are instances where the body can't completely heal it. If the injury is bad enough, there's like permanent damage done, potentially permanent pain. But for most cases, especially if it's done by just like lifting something wrong, it seems like the pain is the hardest thing to deal with. Where it really is, it's like it kind of like tortures people because you're talking about just straight up nerve pain to the point where literally like sometimes the nerve can actually so like if your nerve sustains damage, not only is it one of the most painful things you can experience, but like it takes an incredibly long amount of time to heal. Your nerves can heal. Sometimes they can't if it's permanent damage. But if it's not too severe, they can heal, but it takes quite literally like I think it says it heals at like 1 millimeter per day, which is crazy. Like that. So in other words, it's like whatever pain you're experiencing, you're going to experience it for a very long time. And then if you're lucky, it will heal on its own. And I think that's kind of the process I'm in right now. And it's why the pain has been very difficult to deal with, because it's just like, dude, if you ever watch like House, House is always like popping pills. And he's like, I need this to function because of my nerve pain. And I'm like, okay, but then you experience nerve pain and you're like, oh, now I get it. Now I understand why pain management is such a serious thing, because there's nothing quite like nerve pain. It will degrade your mind very rapidly and your quality of life very rapidly. So there you go. That's the update. Good news overall. Very, very relieved I don't have to get surgery. At least it doesn't seem that way. And the doctor feels pretty confident that as long as I continue to take care of myself, do physical therapy, try to, eat clean, do everything I'm supposed to do, hopefully by this point next year, this will just be a thing of the past. I need the healing power of a certain Canadian. All right. So we'll move on from that. Let me see. Video games. So what were we talking about with video games? Hopefully they gave you some pain management plans so you can at least take things when you need to. Yeah, the next thing, if they said if I feel as though I need it, like if the pain really is becoming difficult to manage, they might want to try some steroid injections right into the nerve, which is pretty common. And I might. It depends, if I notice over the next couple of weeks that I'm still struggling and the pain really is difficult to deal with, then I might give that a shot, no pun intended, and see if it helps. But what the thing is though is like with this type of pain, I've noticed like I've taken a bunch of stuff and like nothing works. That's why I've stopped taking anything. Even if I try to take an ibuprofen, to bring down the inflammation, it doesn't do anything. So it's just, it is what it is. Deep heat for the bones as well. Yeah, that's what the doctor was recommending. She was saying like try to, get used to using a lot of moist heat, helps bring in more blood flow, and you need that blood flow so the nutrients can be delivered to the site. Your body needs that stuff to do work. Basically, it's got to work on it. It's got to repair. Are you still getting ad breaks midstream? Is that still happening? Let me check. Let me refresh. Excuse me. Let me refresh on my end and see what it's saying. Yep. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. It like YouTube is not allowing me to do it the way I used to do it. I don't know why. I'm going to try this. I'm going to see if this works. You guys will let me know. I don't know if it's going to completely remove the ads. I don't appreciate that, man. I don't appreciate that YouTube's doing that. They're making it so the only way I can remove ads is by completely demonetizing my stream, and I'm like, I can't do that. But it updates it for me without telling me. Although, you know what I could try? If I forget, the next time I go live, probably on Sunday, remind me as soon as I go live to refresh my stream, disable it again, see if it stays off at that point. Why are some people getting ads? I don't know. YouTube has like a bunch of different options, and I've always chosen the manual option. The manual option basically ensures that an ad will only play if I choose to play it. And so I don't choose to play them, but it seems like YouTube basically resets it at random points, because I see people saying like, oh, I'm getting ads in the middle of you talking. And I'm like, I didn't change it. So YouTube just did it on its own, and I have to like manually fix it. So I don't know. This is something that happened with like the latest update on YouTube's back end, and it's pretty annoying. Because that's like one thing that I think is kind of like unacceptable. You know, if you're tuning into a live stream, and this is just my personal opinion, like you shouldn't have to deal with ads in the middle of listening to somebody. You know what I mean? Because it's cutting me off. Like I'm almost offended by it. You know, it's like you're cutting me off. And we have Rich Rod with a $2 direct donation. Thank you, Rich. He says, I got lumbar spondylosis. Yeah, I heard about that. I wake up every morning, lower back stiff and sore. Pause. Walking around like a hunchback of Notre Dame for like 30 minutes. Damn, bro. Yeah, I've had lower back problems in my life as well. Luckily, now that I'm going to say it out loud, something's going to happen. They've improved vastly over the years, but yeah, that sounds pretty brutal. Lumbar spondylosis. You got to take care. We got to take care of our spines, guys. We can't do nothing without them. Now I'm imagining Rich walking around like, God damn Xbox. Every first thing when he gets out of bed. All right, your back matters. Speaking of broken backs and spondylosis, it's all that police gear. Yep. It's taking you out, Rich. It's taking you out. That is a lot of extra weight to carry. Yeah. Speaking of broken discs, exploded discs, and broken spines, PlayStation and Xbox. What's going on, man? Rich is a mall cop. That's funny. What are we gonna do, guys? What are we gonna do? I mean, I'm on Twitter, and every time Sony posts, they're getting lit up. They're getting lit up like there's no tomorrow. But I don't think they're gonna back down. I think I saw the Crunchyroll thing. Yeah, it's just getting worse, man. Sony really is going full villain mode. It's just depressing to see that, you know? Like it's calmed down a lot, but I don't know. I've been looking around at things and I'm like, I guess there really is like a certain direction the games industry is going in. What's up with the Crunchyroll thing? Let me show you. So Polygon reports that Crunchyroll, one of the world's biggest anime streaming platforms, has just announced big changes coming to its retail branch, the Crunchyroll Store. Starting this August, the Crunchyroll Store will be available exclusively to subscribers to the Mega and Ultimate fan tiers, meaning non-subscribing guests and users on their fan tier won't be able to make purchases in the store. According to Crunchyroll's official statement, the new store captures the excitement of convention-exclusive merchandise, collectibles, curated drops, and limited release products inspired by the anime series you love. In response to a request for comment by Polygon, Crunchyroll further explained that the decision was inspired by community feedback by observing what gets collectors and anime fans most excited. Many fans, however, are not sharing that enthusiasm about the changes. The Crunchyroll store doesn't just sell merch and collectibles, it's also a repository for manga, books, and a variety of home entertainment products. It's an important resource for anyone who still wants to own physical media, and it also carries many exclusive limited edition sets. Not being able to buy these without a Mega or Ultimate fan subscription priced at $14 and $18 respectively is perceived by many as another step in the Sony Crunchyroll monopolization of the anime market. So it just doesn't stop, man. Like, I mean, this doesn't affect me because I'm not into anime and stuff like that. I'm not, Crunchyroll isn't something that I partake in or, deal with. But you can see that like there's just this villainous side to Sony that at one point in time they were willing to try to hide and at the very least like not make it completely in your face, and they would try to like skate stuff by occasionally, see if they get caught. But as things stand now, like Sony's just like, nah man, we're just gonna do what we want. Yeah. Oh, you want to buy our shit? You got to pay to buy our shit. That's right. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's just like, here's the thing about Sony right now that I don't quite understand, just from like a high level, right? It's like if I'm being reasonable right now, not being overly emotional, not overly reactionary. It's like, so let me get this straight, Sony. Everything you're doing right now, what you're doing with the physical discs, ignoring a big part of the player base, or at least a substantial enough part of the player base that it's creating noise. And then you're doing this with Crunchyroll now. It's like, if your end goal is to grow your business, these decisions don't seem like it's going to be very conducive to that in the long run. Like, it does seem like it's going to, in the very short term, inflate things a little bit. But this is just where it's like, I don't know. I guess it calls into question, what does goodwill, how does goodwill translate to the bottom line? And I was always under the impression, and maybe I was naive for this, I was always under the impression that it definitely translates to the bottom line. It's just not so obvious in the short term, creating long term loyalty, doing things that people don't forget, that customers don't forget, that make them think in the future, oh, you know what? It's telling me an ad is going to play in 45 seconds. It has a countdown and there's a button next to it. It says skip ads. Let me see. Ads skipped. Okay. I guess that's a thing I might have to start doing now. All right. So I decided to change it to timed or something. And that's the first time I saw that. I never saw that before. So I guess now I have to literally manually skip them. Interesting. Anyway, I was just always under the impression that, these things mattered to a certain extent to these companies, because it's like, this is how you create lifelong customers, honestly. And I think what feels so disrespectful and frustrating with the current leadership of PlayStation is that they don't care. Like, I do think previous leadership cared, at least a little bit, and I think it's almost like kind of offensive, where it's like, people like Andrew House, people like Jack Trenton, people like Shuhei Yoshida and others, they worked very hard to win people over and to earn that goodwill. And to see this new leadership come in and be like, yeah, we're going to immediately burn all that in the name of short-term gain and short-term, profit increase. That's what I think is just so, it's just so depressing, where it's like, Jesus, guys. Like, but when you look around, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to feel, it's hard to feel confident in really, I think, anything these days, if I'm being completely honest with you. The Crunchyroll thing needs more context. Did the article leave something out of it? Michael, you're confident in me. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and I just feel, I genuinely just feel kind of depressed, man. Like, I'm not trying to be too doom and gloom. You see how I get all revved up, I get worked up, and it's like, we're gonna fight. And granted, I'm not saying give up the fight, but it's just like, I can't help but find myself getting a little bit depressed these days, where I'm like, it kind of is like, bro, look around, wake up, like, look at where things are. It, like, the things you enjoy, the things you care about are probably just going to be, they're just going to be constantly used against you. And you're either just going to say, okay, well, I don't want to miss out, so whatever, I'll pay the entry fee, or you're going to say, I'm done. I'm walking away. And I just feel like more than ever before, truly more than ever before, it feels like that's where we are. And I'm like, it never used to be that in your face. Like it maybe always was that way, but it always felt like there was this kind of like cushioning around it where it's like we're not gonna like just blatantly tell you that. We're gonna try to make it seem like it's not that bad, you know? And that's just gone. And sometimes it wasn't as bad. You know, sometimes that did translate to better opportunities for people to join in, to partake, you know, to consider. And you could even make an argument that a lot of what we're seeing right now, this is the end result of there's just not enough competition. You know, I talked to you guys about maybe going to PC or something, and I'm not gonna lie, like I don't I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it because it's like it's for me it's not some small thing. Now granted I nothing's stopping me from creating a Steam account and dabbling in it, but I'm just saying it's like this idea that like that's going to be my new home. It's like dude, I it's really hard. And this is why I hate Sony for this and I hate these companies because it's like I have put thousands and thousands and thousands of hours into this fucking ecosystem. All of my games, all of my friends, all of my trophies, everything. It's my entire gaming footprint practically. And they're like, we know. And that it does piss me off, but it just eventually like the depression just starts to settle in where it's like, why? Like why are you why are you like this? Sony, why are you gay? William, you're saying, MBG, if the pressure keeps up in the comments or continues into next month, then Sony will be forced to either make a statement on the policy or lock/turn off comments. Well, yeah, I'm going to save this discussion for Sunday, but I think according to Moore's Law is Dead, he's been having conversations. He's been having conversations with developers, and this is what gives me some hope behind the scenes. You know, developers are paying Sony a substantial fee for this exposure every time Sony posts about a game on their YouTube channel, on their social media. They're expecting devs to pay for that, and devs are paying for that. And the developers are apparently starting to get pissed that like they're caught in the middle of this. Like every time something is posted, nobody's paying attention to the game. Nobody cares about the game. All you see is these posts getting annihilated. And that's where it's like, you know, it is one of these things where I think people may be applying pressure. It is still helping. It may not seem like it, but I think it is still helping, which is why I don't want to give up on it either. I'm not being as radical about it because it's like, well, I mean, I do have to think of myself as well. I have to consider the fact that I'm running a YouTube channel. This is my livelihood. You know, I can't literally do like just every day, like, you know, screaming at PlayStation stream number 17 now. Well, I mean, I guess I could. To be fair, it's kind of what I've been doing. But I'm just saying, like, at some point, it's like I have to consider the other side of my audience, which is like, I can't literally just perpetually talk about this every single day in that way, where it's like every day it's aggression. Not only is that not healthy for me on a personal level, but it's just not conducive to my own channel. However, this is why I said in my last stream, I think that this is a long-term battle here leading into the PlayStation 6. You know, I think that it's clear a lot of people aren't going to give up. And I think it's like I said, I think the second wind comes, maybe not this year, because I look at GTA 6 and I look at Wolverine and many other games, but I think the second wind comes maybe either the start of next year or mid next year going into next gen. Blund, you're saying may as well go down with the ship, bro. I mean, I don't. When do I actually play games? I play a lot of games. I game a lot. Like, this is why I'm saying you would know I was a liar if I was just literally getting rid of my PlayStation shit right now. If I was literally jumping ship, you would know I was a liar at that point. Or not a liar, but like, it didn't mean as much to me as I made it sound if I was doing it. But that's why I'm in such a fucking bind right now, dude, where it's like, like it's hard. It's hard to just be like, I'm starting completely over. I was getting so mad. I was talking to you guys about like, I'm thinking about even quitting video games, but it's like, that's not happening. Like I love video games too much. That's in no way, shape, or form happening. I can talk myself up as much as I want. I can pump myself up as much as I want. But it's like, dude, look at Control Resonant, bro. I mean, you're still gonna look at Wolverine and look at how fucking good it looks. And people can say it's folding or whatever, but it's like, it is the sad truth. It is the sad reality that like these are the things that unfortunately a company like Sony is banking on people to just be like, you done? And I hate that because it's like, fuck, man, like have some respect for your developers, have some respect for your customers. For God's sake, why are you depressed? Prince G, thank you so much for renewing your membership, buddy. I do appreciate that. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
And Michael Wernick comes in. Michael Wernick comes in, drops 5 more member gifts on you guys. Michael Wernick's telling you guys to do it.
All aboard!
He wants the member train. He wants the member train. Michael, thank you for that. Let me add those to the goal here. All right. And Vlon, yeah, I don't know about. That's the thing, is it's like, may as well go down with the ship. That's the reality of this situation. It is the hardest pill to swallow. It's that Sony's not going down. I mean, there's going to be, I'm not saying they're going to be in the best position or the best spot. I'm not saying they're going to be in the best spot come next gen. But it's like, this is kind of the problem where they know they're going to survive this. And right now, they're willing to take a hit. How big of a hit? It's like, when I told you guys, like, if enough people banded together in the next 3 months and just fucking truly boycotted. But you know who I was listening to recently that really kind of opened my eyes a little bit? I was listening to Colin Moriarty, and I thought at first I was going to completely disagree with what he was saying. Before I say it, though, we have Cheese. He comes in, he says, just admit it. Just admit it's over. Discs are gone. You'll play digital. You'll buy Wolverine. You'll buy GTA 6. Who are we trying to kid here? Inevitable. I mean, I agree to the extent that I'm less bullish on the idea of Sony changing their next-gen plans. However, I can't say that I completely believe that. Like, I can't say 100% Sony's not changing anything. I do think there's time. But it kind of is what you're pointing to, Cheese. And this is the constant reality check that I'm facing, where it's like, take a look at what's about to happen with GTA 6, Modern Warfare 4, all these games coming out in September, and Wolverine. It's like, are people truly boycotting Sony right now? The answer is no. And that's painful for me to admit, but it's true. Unfortunately, the Black Ops 1 and 2 ports immediately prove that the boycott is not. It's real for some people, but it's like, is it big enough and real enough to affect change right now? The answer is no. However, that's where, when somebody said earlier, I think they were referencing developers that are getting upset at the constant barrage of negativity on every PlayStation post. I do think that even if the boycott may not be effective right now, or nearly as effective as people were hoping it would be, I do still think that, yeah, the amount of people still basically completely and utterly shitting all over Sony in every social channel. Sony can continue to ignore it, but it's like, yeah, I imagine that if this doesn't go away, if that noise doesn't go away, they will have to do something. Although there is an argument to be presented that says, yeah, they're going to do something. They're going to fucking turn off replies and comments. And, that would be a pretty clear sign of where they stand. But, I still do believe between now and the launch of the PlayStation 6, we could enact a level of change. I just, it's not about giving up. It's that my confidence is not as great. Because, and I'll tell you why, before I read what Sean said here and Ray. my confidence has diminished because I thought like I kept talking about the window, and that window to me was about 7 to 12 days. Really about 7 to 8 days if we're being honest. Like that window was, we have to collectively shit on Sony so hard, and like literally we need to convince Sony that they just killed their brand. Oops. That's what we have to do collectively. And to be fair, I think we did do that. I think everybody did what they needed to do. Everybody. People are still doing it now. But in that first 5 to 7 days, everybody was doing it. It was on mainstream news. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I felt very confident like they're turning this around. I've never seen backlash like this. The last time I recall seeing anything like this was with the Xbox One. They're turning this around. They are shaking. They're scared. They underestimated what was going to happen. And I think what genuinely kind of shocked me is like, here we are literally past like we're at the halfway point of the month, and they're just like, we're not doing anything other than just going through with this. We're not, like, that did nothing. And I'm like, what? Like, there's just this genuine shock in me that it's like, I don't think, what other company with a multi-billion-dollar brand would be willing to take this? What other business executive who's in charge of a multi-billion-dollar corporation would be okay with waking up every day knowing that we are getting absolutely shitted on by everybody? And it's not going away. And I get that's like, oh, we can just look at our telemetry. We can just go look at how many people really are canceling PlayStation Plus, how many people really are canceling their pre-orders. But this is where I feel like this truly is the Achilles heel of Sony, in my opinion, where it's like, and isn't that just modern day PlayStation? Modern day PlayStation is, we don't care about our reputation. We don't care about goodwill. We don't care what the fans or the players or the customers, we don't give a flying fuck what they actually think. All we care about is our numbers. And that's why I feel so disheartened, because it's like, I kind of had this feeling that was the only way Sony would actually turn things around, is if they saw a massive hit in their numbers. It's why I was telling people to cancel their pre-orders, because it's like, we got to scare the shit out of them. But I unfortunately, guys, like, I don't think enough people did what was necessary. I think a lot of people were under the impression that what's necessary, and it is to an extent, but what's necessary is to talk about it, and it is to express themselves. Yes. But the truly necessary thing was to just cut yourself off completely, to where suddenly, like, there was this one person who left a comment a little bit ago, and they were like, we should just do like a blackout, like a community blackout, where like we all just like disconnect our PlayStations and don't log on for like 3 weeks. And I'm like, that would, yeah, if millions of people did that, and it would have to be millions, that would work. Sony would literally have no choice. That would bring them to their knees pretty quickly. But that's the hard part about this, is it's like, how do you quantify that? How do you actually know? Like, I saw this post on Twitter yesterday, and I'm going to read these chats, but I saw this post on Twitter yesterday, and it just made me feel like, oh, man. Oh, it's over, isn't it? At least for now. For now. Like, the next battle will come, but it's this initial blitzkrieg by Sony was successful in that, like, I saw this post from an account I never saw before, and they were saying how they were thinking about putting together a in-person like rally outside of Sony's HQ and like trying to get people involved. And I appreciate that passion, but no, like, people were like, no, like, what are you talking about? And it's, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, guys. Like, I think Sony, I think they planned this too strategically. they understood that the only way this would stop is if people truly boycotted in the way that was necessary. And Sony basically was banking that that wouldn't happen. And I think that they were right, at least for now. I'm just getting God, man, my entire back cramps up. Sean Mitchell says Sony couldn't have teed this announcement on a better year. They know this is a juggernaut game for releases. I think it would say a juggernaut year for releases. They know people won't boycott them. Yeah, that's why I did recognize earlier on. I was like, dude, they're hiding behind GTA. And if you notice, like, it was so hard for me to talk about GTA because it's like, no matter how pissed off and emotional and reaction I am, emotionally reactive I'm being, nothing's stopping GTA. Nothing. Sony knows that. That's why I'm like, we gotta hit them now. Like, we gotta hit them now. Because if we don't hit them now and knock them on their ass now, for now it is over. Like, we will have to wait for the next big wave to come, and that's not probably happening till the PS6 is formally announced. And I just feel like, that 1 to 2 week window that I was referring to, I feel like it's practically shut at this point. There's one other thing I want to add to this though. The one thing that I think could change this, like, quickly, outside of just their bottom line being affected, is if developers started to come out. But that's the thing, is like, you're probably not going to see that because the unfortunate reality here, and I'll mention what Colin said as well. The unfortunate reality is that these publishers like EA, Take-Two Interactive, Activision, the entirety of Microsoft, Ubisoft, notice how none of them are saying anything. And I did hear Colin mention this, and he was on the money with this one. He's like, notice how nobody's saying anything because they're happy about this. This benefits them too. So it really is like Sony just kind of put themselves at the center of like, we'll be the one to do it. It's like, why? Why do you have to be the one to do it? I get greed and all that, but really? You couldn't have just leaned into it? Like, this could have been a good, beneficial thing for you for the PS6. Instead, you're like, what if we just kill it? It's like, all right. I mean, that's a choice. Ray, a member for 58 months, says there are rumors the PS6 handheld will be dockable and will be the PS6, and the actual PS6 console will be the PS6 Pro. The reason for PlayStation going digital. Oh, that would okay, that would fucking change. I mean, it wouldn't take the pain away. It wouldn't take the pain away from losing discs, but it's like, that would be something. The problem with that though is that, like, yeah, you can kind of understand why they would want to go digital for that, but like, if you look at Nintendo is kind of proof that you can do a handheld hybrid and still do physical. Granted, it's kind of a nightmare with the way it's being handled with third party, and it's expensive. And that's where I feel like, yeah, if Sony were to make a choice, do we pay more? I mean, but I will say this, right? The idea of the PS6 coming out and it's like, oh no, this is a PlayStation Switch. That's going to be fucking weird. That's going to be very surprising because my understanding right now, when it comes to the handheld, my understanding is that this is like a complementary device, an alternative device to the PS6. If they were to come out and be like, no, it's actually a dockable handheld. It can be a home console or portable, just like the Switch. If they do that, that kind of changes the entire, in my opinion, that changes the entirety of what the PS6 is fundamentally. That will be fascinating. That would catch me by surprise. And we have Cheese. He says 90 million PS5s. How many millions are downvoting or commenting? At most, a few 100,000, but more than not. it's a few thousand. Sony ain't worried. Well, I mean, the only other thing I can say, I mean, I think you're right. Mostly, I'm curious about the next state of play. I feel like Sony's going to pull a bitchy move, and they're going to be like, "We're turning off the live chat and the comments on their next state of play," because it's like, bro, it's going to get hammered. Like that's where you're going to have that at that point. You are talking about millions of people, millions of views, right? Millions of people tuning in, and possibly partaking in this. That it will be interesting to see if the ire and the outcry and the frustration is still as strong come the next state of play, because I think that could have an actual more material impact. I think right now Sony is just kind of pulling a dick move where they're like, we're not really worried about these smaller indie devs that are getting upset about their games. Like, knowing Sony, they're probably like, why are you complaining to us? Your game's getting more attention than it otherwise would have. It's free marketing, you know? But I feel like if you're talking about a state of play where there's a lot of big publishers, a lot of big AAA games, I don't think they're going to want negativity surrounding that. So I don't know. I know it feels hard. It feels hard to not just like give it up, because it's like, this is where we are, you know? And sometimes I do need certain reality checks where it's like, bro, Roblox is like the most played game in the world right now. Okay? Like, let's just take it down a notch. Your time is over. Like, and I hate that where I'm like, I'm only 32. It's like, yes, but you know, you're I don't know. It's a strange thing to go through where it's like, bro, I still think what I'm so caught off guard by is like, I thought for sure, like, we're going to have one more gen, right? Like, just, we're going to have one more solid gen that's going to be a follow up to the PS4 and the PS5. And then after that, let's just see what happens. And it just feels like certain things are happening much sooner than anticipated. And I'm like, okay, I'm not liking this right now. Pushing Polygon says, who wants to join me in making a fuss at the Sony FX5 unveil at 10 a.m. Eastern on July 22nd? Big camera reveal stream. Oh. Join Pushing Polygons. Was it 10 a.m. July 22nd, 10 a.m. Be there. I'm going to show up. Kendall Fire with a $5 chat says, picture a scenario where all PS6 games are digital, but it has a disk drive add-on that grants full backwards compatibility to all PS5 gens. You in? Ooh, that's an interesting sell. On one hand, it's like, I want my PS6 discs, and it would feel straight up offensive that it's like, you're giving me you can sell me a disc drive for the PS6, but you just can't make PS6 discs. Don't know about that one. But on the other hand, see, that's the thing. That's what's so problematic here, in my opinion, Kendall Fire. That is a great thing. Like, if Sony could come out and be like, we know you're upset about us going digital only, but check this out. You can buy a disc drive, attach it to your PS6, and any PlayStation disc you own between PS1 through 5, the disc you could put it in, it'll work and play. That would be especially for PS3. That'd be fucking incredible. That would win a lot of people over. That would be kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, this feels kind of like a deal. Like, we're bargaining here. You give this up, we give you this. And it sucks that it's got to be that way, but that's what makes this so sad, Kendall Fire, is that, like, what you just described, it's like, I'm fairly certain that's not going to be a thing. At least not to that extent. Where Sony's just like, we don't care, man. Like, why would we do that? We're already winning. We don't need to do that. And I hate that. I hate that Sony, they're just, I hate to say it, but it is true. And it's not just Sony. Sony is like the worst culprit right now. But this is why I'm saying, like, it starts to get a little bit depressing when you look around. more and more companies, and especially Sony right now, are just like, what if we just did the bare minimum? And you accept that and you're good with that. Oh, you're not okay with that? Well, luckily we're not worried about you. We're talking about the masses. The masses are okay with that. So if you're not okay with it, bye. And that's where I just feel like I don't know, man. Like that's I just feel like that's where we are in many other places already. And I guess that is truly to an extent where gaming is going to, you know? Hold on one sec, guys. Let me have to sit down here. All right. Okay, let me sorry, just gotta get in position for my neck to be able to handle this heavy load that is just standing here. Thank you for the super chat, Kendall Fire. Mockwing Ninja with a $5 chat says, why would Sony back down when they know people are spineless dummies? They'll make noise and then turn the other cheek. Well, that's kind of the hardest part in all of this, and why I think a boycott isn't working and it's not going to work. It's because talk is cheap. I've talked about this many times on the channel. And it's why some people view me as more of a defeatist, or I have a mentality of a defeatist, or a defeatist mentality, I should say. It's because I've explained to people that, a great example right now, and I don't know how this is caught up on my feed, but for some reason it's like on my algorithm. Modern Warfare 4 gameplay was just like shown off by Infinity Ward. And all I see are people just absolutely shitting all over it for many different reasons. And I get this vibe as I'm reading this and I'm seeing this, and granted, this is what the algorithm's feeding me. I'm like, oh my God, this game's cooked. Modern Warfare 4 is cooked, bro. But then it's like, zoom out and ask that question again. Is it? Or are literally more than half of the people that are saying negative things about it going to buy it anyway? And I think we all know the answer to that question. I think we all know by now, I think everybody knows the answer to that question, where it's like, talk is cheap. And yeah, man, unfortunately, we're just kind of seeing it come to a head in a way that I don't think we've ever seen before with Sony's announcement. Be a Med, member for 31 months, says, what percentage of PlayStation players actually know about the disc announcement? I mean, that's also a funny question to ask. I mean, you have to imagine there's quite a few that literally have no fucking idea what's even going on. And those are the customers that Sony is like, interesting. Trey Brady 94 with a $5 super chat says, I decided to buy a PS3 Slim to start collecting PS3 titles because they have a vast library and I want to collect as many physical games as possible. Yeah, you're not the only one, Trey. I've been seeing numerous people. I have a friend who just decided to go back to PS3. I think specifically to play Infamous 2, but I've been seeing more people pop up saying, I'm going to get into kind of like retro collecting, collecting a PlayStation, previous PlayStation physical games from, the PS3, 2, 1, PS4, 5, even still. And that's something I've thought of as well, where it's like, there is something kind of tantalizing, but although, the price of some of this stuff is it's already very expensive, but it's only going to go up. But there's something really tantalizing at a time like this when you find out that this is kind of the end, or this is what Sony is signaling. They're signaling the end of an era, which is a future without PlayStation discs, no more. And there's like, I'm sure there's going to be at least one person that's like, I'm going to collect every physical PlayStation video game ever made, And that will be interesting to see. But you're definitely not the only one, Trey. You have to update me. Let me know how that goes. Michael says the problem is we are too weak-willed in modern times. You're told to follow the rules and do what people say. You're not allowed to fight back or argue. Now we get stepped on. But you know what it is, Michael? I don't even think it's not even so much that we're being stepped on, and I realize this. It's more along the lines of like we're being like I don't know how I would properly describe this, but it's like, are you not comfortable? You know, it's like we're doing something that is not good, is not right, on many levels. But it's like, are you comfortable? Like let's be honest. How uncomfortable are you really? How much are you really suffering right now? And I think the reality is like 90% of people or more, probably more than 90%. And again, this isn't just a PlayStation thing. This is just a modern times thing. It's like, okay, I'm actually not that uncomfortable. And it's always the same. I'm telling you, these companies, especially the entertainment companies, they woke up one day and they learned, because the message was sent that if you give them comfort and convenience, that will take priority over all else. And these companies, like, even their consumer rights, yes, even their consumer rights. And that's the reality. So when we talk about weakness, that's kind of the form it comes in. The weakness comes in the form of you like feeling comfortable. You like the convenience. And unfortunately, and this is where I don't blame people, it's hard for me to be angry at people now. Because do you know where we are now? Where we are now, unfortunately, is like, oh, you don't want all the comfort and you don't want all the convenience and you actually want to push back against this. There's no point. Well, why is there no point? Because you already lost. Oh, yeah, you're like one of like 100 people, a couple thousand people. The masses have already spoken. So it's like, well, then what are my options? Oh, your options? You're either in or you're out. There, like, the fight is over. Like, I mean, I know. For now, in regards to most forms of entertainment, the fight is over. It's already been decided, what the outcome will be. And so all that's left for the customer and the consumer to do is decide, are you in or you out? And I hate, like, and I guess it has been like that for a long time. And I guess that's why, I've acknowledged it here and there, but specifically with PlayStation, this was like that moment where it just really woke me up, and it's like, and here it is for PlayStation now. I'm like, damn. Like, it's true what they say about the enshittification, We have William. He says with a $5 chat, what if the reason why there are two GPU/CPU builds for the PS6 is because the PS6 is a handheld, but the dock acts as an external plug in CPU and GPU for extra power? Well, I will say, like, when we got that leak from Moore's Law is Dead, he was the one who leaked the APU of the PlayStation 6 handheld. And I don't think it's changed. I think the APU that he leaked is still the same one they're using. And one of the things he said is that, based off of his understanding, this handheld is dockable, but he didn't know to what extent. Like, technically, I guess all handhelds are dockable. Like, they can be connected through a USB tether or whatever. But, like, what he was insinuating is that it's possible that, like, there could be more to this. And I don't know. This is going to be interesting. It's going to be, dude, it's going to throw me for a loop if Sony's like, oh, yeah, we have a dock. The PS6 is a fucking handheld and it can be docked. The PS6 is a Switch. It's a much better Switch 2. If that's what the PS6 is, I'm going to be fucking shocked. And it's like, oh no, don't worry. You wanted that more traditional experience. We got the PS6 Pro. We're not making you don't have to wait for it. I mean, that would be, I'll tell you what, if that's what Sony announces, that's going to be very like everybody, I mean, people will still talk about it being digital only, but that's going to be distraction. Like holy shit, Sony just announced their own Switch. And like, people are going to be like, well, it's digital. It's like, yeah, but look, it's a Switch. Isn't that crazy? Isn't a PlayStation Switch crazy? I don't know. I don't know what Sony's banking on here. Docked mode. God, that's going to be very... I mean, that doesn't get me excited, though, to be honest. Like, that doesn't get me excited, but it does make me very interested to see how people are going to react. I guess I would be surprised by that because everything I've heard about the handheld is it's under the context of like it's just like a regular handheld. Like what we see now with the Steam Deck and stuff, like it's not, in other words, like it's not trying to literally be a Switch. It's not trying to do what Nintendo does. And so it would be surprising if it comes out and it's like, oh no, it's literally trying to kill Nintendo now. Like Sony's trying to kill Nintendo now. Like that would be like, whoa, okay. Did not expect that. We have, let me see here. Sean Mitchell, he says GTA 6 is one thing, but September, man, if anyone can boycott that month of games, you're a demon, bro. And that's why I want to go back before I read the rest of these chats to what Colin said. And Colin kind of woke me up a little bit where I was listening to him, and I was expecting to completely disagree with what he was saying. But as I was listening to him, he was explaining that, like, the problem with trying to boycott, especially today, with things like boycott PlayStation, boycott Sony, is the only way it can work is it has to be not everyone, but such a large mass of people, and the line doesn't break. There's nothing that can break it up or separate it or divide it or scatter it. And that's the only way it works. And what that requires is not just a couple of hundred, not just a couple of thousand, but a couple of million PlayStation players, active players, deciding collectively to completely cut Sony off and not break. And he was, and yeah, he brought up the Black Ops 1 and 2 ports, and he was saying that kind of already did it. Where it's, and he was explaining, like, yes, like, are there still people who are holding it? They're like, I'm not breaking, bro. Like, I'm serious. Yeah. And I like to think I'm one of those people too, but it's like you start to realize, like, all this really translates to is bye. They're moving on without you. And that's, and I think the way he was describing it when I was listening to it is he said, like, now you have to just decide where you're going to settle. And I feel like, yeah, like I kind of, like, the more I listen to him explaining that, I'm like, I think he might be right about this. I think he might be right because it's like, that's why it's like, we're going to go to PC. Okay, well, that's where you're settling. We're going to go to Nintendo. Well, that's where you're going to settle. You can do everything. And I don't know, man. Like, I know there's people who, they want to see me move to PC, and I've really thought about it, but I'm like, I'm not saying I'm not good. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I don't feel ready. Like, I look at PC and I'm like, it does bring me to this point where I'm like, I don't know if I even want to, and it's not because I see a problem with PC. I don't see a problem with PC, but it's like I'm starting over, and I don't know. Like, it's like if my options are start over or don't just stop, I start to, like, feel really shitty because I'm like, I don't want to do either, dude. I don't want to start over on PC, but I don't want to stop gaming either, and that's why I'm like, Curse you, PlayStation. Is PlayStation paying me? Yeah, they paid me off, bro. How'd you know? I wish. I fucking wish. Yeah, I love Sony PlayStation now. Guys, accept it. Digital only future. Learn to like it. Literal shill. Sir Digital Dude says, how's the fight going, MEG? Making progress or still screaming into the void? LOL. Hey. Come on. Can't you just lie to me, Digital Dude? Couldn't you just cut it off as, how's the fight going? Damn trolls. I'm just kidding. Digital Dude, you're a cool guy. I appreciate you, bro. He's trolling me. Michael Werneth, or hold on, let me read Rich's direct donation because I almost missed it. He says, accept digital, think of it as a good thing. It allows you to get over it before you're 40 versus you getting mad as a 45-year-old and tweaking your back. It's going to prevent future injuries if you just accept it now, MBG. Oh my God. Knowing me, there's truth to that. Yeah. Guys, I ended up in the hospital again because Sony did this to me. Michael Wernes with a $5 chat says, I still haven't heard a good argument from the general public as to why they are siding with Sony on this. Comments/links for me to read. There is no good argument. That's why I feel like there's four types of people right now, Michael Wernes. Okay, here are the four types of people. Type number one is the person that does feel the need to try to convince themselves as well as others that this direction things are going in is actually a good direction. Even though it doesn't benefit them at all and only is probably deleterious to their overall experience. I don't know what those are the people I can't understand at all. And I'm not talking about people who accept it. I'm saying people who literally feel the need where it's like, this is actually better, or like, you know, we should support this. Like, that's crazy to me. That's person number one. Person number two is the person that accepts it, but isn't necessarily for it. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's the majority. I think and that's where we are. Like, the majority of people, I think, you know, they do buy digital. They have accepted this is where we are. And maybe they're somewhat aware that they're contributing to it, but they don't care enough to get involved. And to them, it's just like, whatever. Okay, no more discs anyway, you know? And I think that's the majority of people. Person number three is, I feel like this is where I'm ultimately going to end up, unfortunately. Person number three is the person that identifies everything that's wrong with this and wishes it could be different, wants it to be different, but understands that maybe they're you know, that time has come and passed, you know, like it's not going to be different now. It's too late. Or at the very least, you know, the chance of change is greatly diminished. And so you know, at least this person feels as though you either have to decide now, you're either going to be more like person number one or two, or you're going to be like person number four. Person number four is the one who literally is like, I'm done. I want nothing to do with this. Fuck all of this and fuck all of you. I'm out. And it's very hard, in my opinion, it's very hard to be person number four. And I fear being that person. I do, because I understand that person. Person number four is the person who understands it all, realizes that you're either in or you're out, and they had to make that hard fucking choice of like, I'm out. Like, I mean, completely removed. And I think it's easy for people to convince themselves that they're person number 4 until something comes along that they're like, oh, you know, person number 2 will never judge you. Person number 1 will troll you. Person number 4 will, be disappointed in you. And that's the thing, man, is it's just like, if you look at it from like person 1, 2, 3, and 4, who is Sony focused on right now? Sony's focused on person 1 and 2. And Sony has made it clear they want nothing to do with person 3 or 4, especially person 4. They don't give a fuck about person number 4. And that's my read on this entire thing. And I guess I feel like, yeah, I'm stuck in this really awkward place where it's like, I don't know which person I want to be person number 4. But when I think about everything that goes along with that, especially because I run a fucking YouTube channel for a living that covers PlayStation and gaming, it's like, what the fuck does that even look like? Oh, hey guys, I'm covering gaming today. I don't. It's like, oh, so what did you play? It's like, I don't game. Oh, yeah, no, I gave up gaming. It's like, what? At that point, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to completely rebrand my channel and find something else to cover. Yeah, Irfan, I remember, bro. I remember. Sparky Nuts, you're saying you're going to lose a lot of subs long term, man. You posted hashtag not buying PS6 over 50 times in the last 2 weeks. But based on how quick you switched up in the past few days, you'll be. No, I'm not saying on a day one PS6 buyer. I want to. No, I'm. To be honest, I'm not even really talking about the PS6 right now. The PS6, I still very much am. I think there's a very, very, very high chance I'd pass on the PS6. We'll see what happens. I'm like I said, I think there's an opportunity for one more big push that could. I think it could be bigger than what we just saw. I still do believe that. Day 2. Hey, I said I wasn't going to be a day 1 buyer. I'm a day 2 buyer. That at that point, I'm just trolling everybody. That's some funny shit. Hey, yo, I said I wasn't a day 1. Okay? But fucking this guy's got his unboxing out the day after the PS6 came out. No. Cover Steam Gaming, it's the future. I saw that Astrobot's apparently being emulated on PC, which is crazy. Sony deserves this. Rich, did you drop a direct donation? All right, hold on. Let me catch up with these chats. But yeah, I just feel like that's where we are at this point in time. Person 1, 2, 3, and 4. Who are you going to be? Wait, Rich, I did read your direct donation. So you're good on that. I'm caught up with your direct donations. Unless you were talking about something else. Let me. I read the most recent direct. Yeah. You said accept digital. Think of it as a good thing. It'll allow you to get over it before you tweak your back at 45 years old. Unless you sent something else and it didn't come through for whatever reason. Just cover all of gaming. Well, that's what's kind of ironic. Is I was thinking about this. I'm like, I kind of already do. No, I mean, I don't cover everything. I'm not going to, and I'll never cover everything. I can't do that. I'm not interested in everything enough to cover it all. But I realized, I was looking back at so many of the streams throughout the year, and it's like, dude, we've already been taught. Like, my whole problem is I can't seem to properly thumbnail and title my streams. Because I always go in thinking, oh, this is what we're going to talk about. By the end of it, it's like, dude, you talked more about Nintendo, Steam, and Xbox combined, than anything else. You talked about a game a random game today, that you fucking talked about Metal Gear Solid 4 today. And it's just like not reflected in my title and thumbnail. And that's kind of like a realization I had when I was kind of like auditing all my content, and I'm like, Jesus, like I need to figure that out, because like I'll be honest, I'm shocked I still have as much viewership as I do, because it's like I am all over the place. And I think a lot of you guys have already just accepted that, like that. A lot of you guys come into the streams and you're already like, yeah, I already know. God knows where we're going today, So it's made me think about it from that aspect. But let me read these super chats before I start to lose track. Cheese, you're saying Sony stays the course 1 year from now. Where am I? Or like you're asking where I am. I don't know, man. That's so fucking hard to imagine, This time last year, I was, in the process of platinuming Death Stranding 2, couldn't stop talking about that game and how fucking amazing it was. Here we are, 1 year later, total fucking calamity. Where are we going to be July next year? I don't know, dude. I mean, the only thing I can say is that I hope we're in a better place, whether that's with PlayStation or anything else or somewhere else. All I can hope is that 1 year from now, in all areas of my life, my health, physically, my mental health, the health of my channel, I hope we're in a better place. Gaming, I hope is in a better place. That's all I can hope for, but I don't know. If I'm being realistic about it, it's like there's going to be roadblocks. I'll be playing on PS1. That's where I'm going to be this time next year. I'm playing on my PS1, and I'm out here showing you my latest pickup. It's got Silent Hill 1 mint condition for the PS1, guys. I don't think that's going to be me. Could it be? Perhaps. Probably not, though. Let me see. Condition upgrade says, what do you mean by starting over? You did it before. Yeah, and that's true. And that was difficult. It wasn't as difficult, but I guess if you're talking about when I switched from Xbox to PlayStation, you're right. It did kind of feel like starting over, but I will say what was different about it at the time is that one of the things that drove me away from Xbox to a point where I was like, I'm glad to fucking leave. It was, and if anything, it highlights why this is so problematic for me. It was because of the games, dude. Like there was so much I did actually kind of like about Xbox. Like I loved their controller. I like the achievement system, I've never had a problem with the UI. I always liked the avatars and stuff that they did. There was a lot about Xbox that I did like, but it was just after going that generation with the Xbox One, I'm like, I can't take this anymore. Like, you got your games are shit, or at the very least, like your games look like a joke compared to what your competition's putting out. And I feel like I can't resist these games any longer. I can't resist it anymore. I want to go fuck it. And that's the irony in all of this, is like what pushed me over to Sony wasn't Microsoft being a dick and being like anti-consumer and horrible. If anything, they were doing the opposite. They're like, please subscribe to Game Pass for $1. And I'm like, I'm good, bro. I just want better games. Like, that's what I want. That's what makes this whole situation so fundamentally different, is that like when I look at the pipeline of games, and the two big ones being Wolverine and GTA, I'm like, I go to Steam, I'm not getting those games. I go to Xbox, I'm not getting those games. There's nowhere to go. That's why I get so angry, because I'm like, Sony, why? Why is that? Why is it again? Why has it got to be this way? And so it's, I guess there is and don't get me wrong, when I moved from Xbox to PlayStation, I still was nervous. I still was having some slight second thoughts of like, I basically told myself, oh, I'm going to keep playing on Xbox maybe, or like, my gamer tag will still be there and I'll have all my achievements. And that's all true. That's all true. But it's like, yeah, once I made that switch, and I think that's another thing about this as well, is like, I kind of told myself when I started with PlayStation, I took it very seriously. Like, dude, I've unlocked 60 platinums in 5 years, which to me is a fuck ton. Like, that's more than I've ever done on Xbox. That's more. I've never, and that's not even counting the games I didn't platinum. But like, to be clear, I've never gamed more than I have in my entire fucking life than I have on the PS5. This is what makes this so annoying, painful, and difficult right now. Is it's like there's like another level of investment that was made with PlayStation that I understand now. Like, that's where people are like, well, there's your mistake. Mistake or not, it's like, it's done. What's done is done. Now I've just been constantly looking over my profile, looking at all the games I played, all the hours I put into these games, all the fucking platinums, and then that combined with, oh yeah, by the way, Wolverine's coming next and GTA. Yeah. It's like, well, I'm gonna fucking go to Steam. It's like, have fun playing GTA on Steam. Oh wait, you're never playing Wolverine on Steam. And yeah, it's like, this is what I know to a lot of people, it's like, well, you sound like a fucking idiot. You're still just the pony, man. And it's like, no, it's sure if that's how people want to see it, but it's like, no, dude, like, this is real time money and money. Like, this it's not just like a joke. You know what I mean? This is why it's like, it would be. Do you know how easy it would be if I was like bullshitting you this whole time? If I was bullshitting you this whole time, it's like, I didn't earn 60 platinums. I actually barely played my PS5 at all. The investment was minimal. It's so I'd be on Steam right now. I'd be making videos being like, here's what it's like to switch from console to PC. But it is real. And it's like, and I get it. I understand. It's like, well, you don't have to pick one or the other per se. You could just have it all. And I'm like, I understand that, but I know, like, if I choose to go in that direction of like, I'm going to play on everything, and anybody who plays on everything can vouch for this, you're going to have a preference. There's going to be something that you go to more often than the others. And I look at this and I'm like, so I'm going to try to lie to myself and tell myself that's not PlayStation. All those platinums, all those games, that library, nah. That's not what you're going to lean to. That's not what you're going to lean on more. You're going to lean on PC more. And it's like, I know myself. You guys know me. It's like, if you ain't leaving PlayStation, bro, you're not leaning on anything else more heavily. You're not going to be playing Nintendo more. It's like I made the joke of like, yeah, I'm going to buy an Xbox to play GTA 6. And it's like, what the fuck is that actually going to achieve? You just got ads again? Okay, hold on. All right. I'm just going to straight up turn monetization off then. I didn't want to have to do that, but at least for the remainder of the stream, because I don't know what the fucking problem is. I've been trying. I've been trying to figure it out, but it's all over the place. All right, I'll give it a second. The ad cut me off. God damn it. That's so fucking annoying, dude. All right, well, I just turned the monetization for this stream off, at least for the... I'm assuming you guys can still super chat. I think it should completely turn ads off. But yeah, just to explain the difference of why it feels so difficult to walk away right now versus when I walked away from Xbox. Like, it was so easy to walk away from Xbox because I had a fucking treasure trove of games to look forward to play that I really felt like I wanted to play this. I'm talking God of War 2018, Bloodborne, Horizon Zero Dawn, Ghost of Tsushima, Death Stranding, and the list just went on. And Spider-Man, and it just literally made it like, fuck yeah, let's go, man. I can't wait to play this shit. And I don't regret it. I'm like, hell yeah, those were some of the greatest gaming experiences I've had this in my life. Flat out, not all of them, but like Last of Us, like, exactly. And it's shit like, and like, that's not there now. Instead, what's here is, well, you can walk away, but you're going to miss out on these things. And that's where I'm like, why do I have to love video games? Like, why do I have to like gaming this much? Why do I have to put myself in these positions? Why does Sony have to put me in this position? I don't know, man. I mean, I know with like GTA, people are like, oh, we'll get it on PC, but I'm like, but when? Like, when? A year? Like, I'm not fucking wait, dude. Like, I mean, come on, I'm not saying there aren't PC players who aren't going to wait a year, but it's like, I don't know. I guess I'm just like saying, if I look myself in the mirror and be like, you're going to wait a year to play it on PC? First off, you don't even game on PC and you're going to wait? I don't know. I know people are going to be annoyed with me or maybe not annoyed, but they're going to clown on me, but it's I don't know. We'll see what happens. We got time. My feelings might change. As you can see, my feelings fluctuate. Maybe by the time GTA does come out, I'm like, I'm just not feeling it. No, thank you. But I don't know. Once I'm done being so reactive, I guess I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, guys, I just realized that, like, man, I can't just walk away from gaming yet. Like, I'm not ready. Like, I think that day will come. I think that, and I know that sounds bad, but it's like, I think the day may come where shit actually gets so bad. Like, games get so bad. The AAA market gets so shitty that it's like, I don't even recognize this anymore. And I think that day, maybe when I'm in my 40s. Maybe later than that. I don't know. Where like the day will come. It's like, I'm ready to just stick with the old stuff now. I'm good. Like, I don't want to move forward. I don't want to keep up with anything anymore. But that's what makes it so hard for me, is that like, I'm not at that point. And that's where it's like, fuck Sony for knowing that. And fuck all these other companies. And just fuck modern entertainment for, completely exploiting the fact that so many people just want comfort and convenience and making that the only thing that matters anymore. Shit's depressing. Or if you're saying your red line has always been, I'll be with Sony until they stop making single player games. I won't leave if they gave me those, or if they give me those. But the moment they stop, that'll be the end for me. I mean, and I respect that. It's just like, that's what feels so, like, I told you guys numerous times, like, I had like the 3 core pillars that made PlayStation, a place where I wanted to play. It's what made it stand out to me. It's why I left Xbox. It's why I'm not on Xbox. It's why I'm not on Nintendo. And it's also why I'm not on PC. And those 3 things were a great premium console experience, awesome single player games, which we still get that. But but the third one was physical games. And I guess I just never put thought into like Sony getting rid of that. Like, or at the very least, like, I always imagined that that's many years away. And that's what pisses me off about this, where it's like, well, like, somebody could come to me and make the argument, but hold on, MBG. They're still making premium console hardware and they're still making single player games. Don't those 2 pillars count for something? And it's like, yes, they do. That's the problem. This would be totally different if Sony was like, we're killing physical games and we're kind of done with single player. Or like we're making some and who knows what the fucking PS6 is going to be like, but it's like we're kind of like done with traditional hardware. I'd be gone yesterday. This is just it's more difficult than I realize, man. I'm not going to lie, where it's like I don't want to depress myself here. You know? I don't want to become a fucking like I don't know. I was thinking about what if I really did just walk away? Like genuinely. That's true, Laman. That's true. Like, what if I really did just walk away? You know, what would I be like after that? And it's like, I don't know. I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people, but it's like I genuinely don't know. Like I've wrapped up so much of myself in all of this where it's like, and maybe that's a bad thing, but it's like I don't know. I grew up with PlayStation. I grew up playing on console. Yeah, I'm an adult now, obviously, but I've talked to you guys about how the PS5 gen, there's been many aspects to it that I have enjoyed, and I can't deny that. You know, I'm not going to lie, man. Like, this whole situation has made me kind of sad. Like, the anger has subsided, and I'm just kind of sad. And I know that sounds funny to say, but it's like, it's not all bad, but it's like, it just, I don't know. It feels like, it's like one of those things where you just start suddenly having like a bunch of flashbacks, you know, of like really good memories. And you just feel kind of sad and you're like, man, I don't know. Like I don't know if that's just like the copium or whatever kicking in, but it's just true. It, you know, like I have memories of this generation, you know, even on the channel, like doing the first unboxing of the PS5. I remember, you know, when we watched the fucking PS5 event and we were like falling out of our chairs and we're like, this looks incredible. And, you know, when Wolverine was first revealed and playing Returnal for the first time, Ratchet and Clank, and, you know, even games like Final Fantasy 16 and shit like that. And, you know, God of War. It's just like, and, you know, and then there were definitely some serious roadblocks where things started to get like, what the fuck is Sony doing here? But, you know, even just times of like, oh, you know, I was introduced to Dead by Daylight for the first time on PS5. And it's like me and my wife and all of our friends playing Dead by Daylight together for fucking months on end. And it's just good to, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I also think about earlier this generation, you know, my cousin was still alive and we gamed a lot together. We played Call of Duty together, you know, like we played GTA online together. And it's just like, I don't know. I'm gonna this whole thing has put me in a weird place, to be honest. You know, it's just I know it seems so funny, but it's like I can't deny that me doing streaming and covering games for a living, and you know, I'm not like, this isn't complaining. It's not, because trust me, I'm living the dream, right? But I'm just saying, it's like there's no denying that this has complicated things for me, you know, where I almost sometimes wonder if a mistake and I know it's not I know you guys are going to say this isn't a mistake. I know you guys are going to say I did the right thing, but I just genuinely think about this where I'm like, did I make a mistake like not setting enough boundaries for myself? You know, like when I decided to create this channel and cover games and cover PlayStation and cover Xbox and also like where it's like I've especially with streaming, it's like I've always just viewed from the time I created my YouTube channel, it's like I'm just going to be me, you know? And I've learned things about myself in that time, you know? You have too, but I do wonder if it's like you should have created more of a persona, more of a caricature of yourself and not truly just let it be 100% all the time. Because I do think it has created certain complications. Sorry, just the cheese. Goddamn, bro. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm just in a weird place these days. Don't mind me. All right, we have Vlund. He says after Fable 5, AI was able to make near a one-to-one Minecraft clone with one basic prompt in 20 minutes. How many years do you think now until AI can make games people want to play with one prompt? Still think 2030. I mean, I don't know if I have an exact year, but I think the 2030s will be the time when, it will be the time when what you're describing, I think, will happen at some point. And God, that's going to be something, man. I don't know. That will disrupt the gaming industry more than anything ever has, where it's going to be really fascinating to watch consumer demand, how it evolves or doesn't, when we are able to just make games we want. Like, oh, I want to make The Last of Us Part 2, but Joel doesn't die. You just got to prompt it and it'll just do it. Like, I don't know if people are going to be like, I prefer that. I want that. That's how I want to play my games now. You can make your own trophies or something. I don't know. You can have it generate a trophy list for you, and you can say, like, I want a game that's very similar to The Last of Us, but different characters, and here's what I want, here's what I don't want, and I want an easy trophy list. I don't know. I mean, like, we're thinking like definitely into the future here, but I just wonder when people can just create their own game experiences, and basically it's like we don't need devs. Will people still want that? Like, will people? I think people still will want that. I think people are still going to want, real games made by real people. No matter how good the prompting gets. But I think it'll be kind of split. I think it'll be split. I think it's going to hurt a lot of developers for sure. Absolutely. It's going to hurt a lot of publishers. But, well, maybe not the publishers, but the studios, I mean. We will see. Text-based games existed long before AI. That's true. We will see. We'll see where it goes. But I don't think it's going to be... I don't think we're like decades and decades away from it. I think it maybe is like in the next 10 years or so. Cheese, you're saying Steam recently had over 200 million MAUs for the first time. That is fucking nuts. That's impressive, dude. I mean, they're doing good. They're doing good, man. The one thing that's awesome about Steam that, I always question how Sony views Steam. The one thing about, because I don't have a negative thing to say about Steam, but they're a privately owned company, man. And that's just like incredible to see, where it's like they can do things that Sony literally can't. This is why it's going to be interesting to see if Sony's hardware ever fails. Like, if Sony's ever in a position where they can't sell hardware nearly as effectively, it's like, bro, you're kind of cooked. Like, you got to go to PC now, and good luck. And I think Sony knows that. They have to know that. I know there's Epic Game Store, but I mean, I feel like Steam doesn't actually have a true competitor, and that's where it's like, Sony, you could be that. This is what I'm saying. Like, I don't want physical to go away, but it's like, for fuck's sake, if it's going to go away, get your shit together on the PlayStation Store, brother. Like, what are you doing? Say something about the refund policy. Make changes. And maybe they are, but I don't know. The rate Sony's going these days, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Ugh. Sigh. We have Titus Sergio with a $5 direct donation. Thank you, my friend. He says, John, did you already talk about your appointment yet yesterday? How are you feeling today? I did, but I'll just give you a brief recap for anybody who missed it. My appointment went very well. I'm not going to need surgery. I do have a ruptured disc, though. It's pretty bad. And it is pushing against my nerve a little bit, but I am making progress. It seems like it's going to heal on its own. I have to do physical therapy, and I may have to get some injections in my neck for pain management. But as it stands right now, everything structurally in my spine and my neck is good. But I blew out a disc, and it's pretty severe. So it's going to take probably over a year to fully recover. So it's, and just to be clear, it doesn't mean I'll never need surgery, but it just right now it seems like it's looking more and more unlikely that I will need it. And the doctor was saying, like, we want to avoid that. Surgery is a true last resort. Like, if nothing else can help or change it, then you do surgery. So I'm going to be on the road to recovery. How did I rupture it? I mean, it's funny. She was telling me, she's like, yeah, people sometimes just wake up with this. Obviously it's from something you did. It literally could be that, and this is probably the more likely thing, it's through years and years of having a problem, because I've always had a problem with the left side of my neck and always having pain, and it's like I said, your disc can bulge and it can be squeezed and it can bulge and it can be uncomfortable and it can cause pain and it can be very uncomfortable. But eventually it's like, if it's like the straw that breaks the camel's back, the straw that ruptures the disc. It could just be one day. It's just you chose to do a movement, or you had to move something, and you moved in a way that your body was like, and now it's ruptured. It was bulging, now it's ruptured. And so, yeah, you got to be very This is why they say whether you're lifting weights or whether you're moving furniture or whatever, man, anytime you're doing any type of heavy lifting, you got to be really careful about your form. Be very careful. But a lot of times it's just simple, basic movements where your body just simply wasn't ready for it, and boom. Next day you wake up and it's like, help me, I can't move my neck. So take care of yourselves. And Titus, I'll read this because it just came in. He drops another $5 donation. He says, I'm happy to hear that you don't need surgery. Hopefully you feel better soon and it will heal completely, even if it takes that long. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, man. Me too. Trust me, I can't wait to not talk about this ever again. I am very much apologize for how much bitching, moaning, and complaining I've been doing the past couple months. I'm sure it's annoying to you guys. Even I'm annoyed, from hearing myself. But yeah, it's one of these things where it's like, if it's affecting you, it's affecting you, and you just got to deal with it. So we'll see. I'm feeling very optimistic about the next 3 months. I'm still going to be in pain, still going to be suffering, but I'm not going to lie. I think that appointment, especially because I got to look at my own MRI, like I got to see the inside of my body. I got to see my spine, look at the discs, spinal cord. Everything's good except for that one disc. It's like it gives me a lot of hope. It took a lot of weight off my shoulders, where it's like, okay, all right, I'm ready. I'm ready to really figure out how to heal myself now. Because, just to let you in on this, although you guys have probably already know because I've been talking about it, I was basically afraid that I was compressing my spinal cord. So I was afraid to really do anything. I was afraid to move my neck in certain ways. I was afraid to lift things. I was getting real nervous that I was compressing my spinal cord. So once she told me no, your spinal cord's completely healthy. Everything is very good except for this one area. That took a lot of weight off. And I'm like, okay, I feel capable again. I feel I know that the pain I'm experiencing now, it doesn't always mean it's bad, or it's getting worse. It's just part of the process. I did. No, trust me. And you know what's ironic? Here's the ironic part. When I say I was afraid to lift, I'm talking about weightlifting and anything heavy. And I still have to be a little bit afraid of that because I'm at high risk of re-injury. But I've moved my stuff around so much, even with this injury. And you know why? No joke. You know how I told you streaming and sitting still causes more pain? Movement helps alleviate a lot of the pain. You know, like I would notice like when I'm doing like moving some stuff around, nothing too crazy, nothing too heavy, but just basic, moving stuff into another room and rearranging. By the end of it, I'm like, like my pain levels are a lot lower right now. I'm feeling much looser, still can tell something's wrong. But that's the ironic part of it is like, it seems like an injury like this, it's kind of like the more you move, not like intense lifting, nothing, not pushing yourself, but the more you move, the kind of better it is for your nerve and your body and the disc. The more you sit still and just kind of like don't move, everything locks up and it's kind of worse for it. So, but yes, it is funny. It's like I'm injured. Why are you moving stuff around? I don't know. It's making me feel better. Very the spine, the discs, the nerves. It's all very peculiar, very peculiar. But I appreciate all the support you guys have been showing, and again, I very much appreciate your tolerance level for listening to me just bitch, moan, and complain. Oh, and Titus, I missed another $5 chat from you. You're saying, so you've given up and will buy Wolverine and GTA 6 and support Sony, or am I understanding it wrong? I don't know yet. Like, it's not that I've given up. It's like, just to elaborate a little bit further here, it's just, I'm not stupid. Like, I understand that only one thing matters at this point. You either give Sony your money or you don't. I understand that. But that's where it's like, I don't know if I can exist in this middle space where it's like, okay, I'm going to continue to cover Sony and we're going to be hard on them. We're going to call them out. We're going to take them to task. When there's bad news, we're going to be all over it. But it's like, oh yeah, but I'm still going to play Wolverine and I'm going to just cave and admit that like I'm going to end up playing these games. Listen, I can tell you right now, I'm not playing these games. Ask me the week they come out. That like I'm just trying to I'm trying to be real with myself. Where it's like, yeah, I don't need I'm a grown man. I'm clowning myself now. This grown man said he didn't need Wolverine. Yeah, it's easy to say that. You can play them without promoting them. I thought about that, but I'm like, I thought about that. I was like, I could just do my own thing and just not talk about it on the channel. But I'm like, that's retarded. In my opinion, it's like, it's like at that point, bro, what are we doing here? And that's where I'm like, why would I even have a channel at that point? So it's like, I don't know. Man. I'm in a weird, this whole thing has fucked me all up. I won't lie. Like it's totally probably more than it should have, but it's because, dude, I thought we would win. How did we not win? How did we not win? We went nuts on Sony, and how did we not win? Like, what's wrong with these guys? How could you slap? How could you cave? How could you fold? So then just support them. Well, see, that's where I feel like I don't know that is that completely fair to say though, Cheese? You're saying Sony no, they have sheep. I mean, it is to a degree. Like, yes, there are many core casuals. That's what sucks. You're saying there's no alternative, and you're fucking right, Tarnished. Like, even if I said I'm going to Xbox to send a message to Sony, I'm still missing Wolverine, bro. Like, why's it gotta be this way? I don't know. At the end of the day, I got to do what's right for me, though. And I can't tell you right now what that is. I don't know. All right, like if you want to assume that I'm going to be playing Wolverine and I'm going to be playing GTA and come September, October, November, it's like none of this even happened. If you want to assume that, fine. I'm not going to tell you it won't be. If you want to assume the opposite, and by the time that time comes and I'm like, I'm good, fuck Sony, I'm out. I'm not giving them my money. You could assume that too. I don't know. I'm in the process of figuring out where I'm going to stand in all of this, because I came out as aggressive as I possibly could. I came out like a fucking pit bull, going crazy. And, and there was nothing there. like there was, like I was in attack mode, and it's like, all right, well, what'd you get? Would you win? It's like, well, we're still shitting all over them on Twitter. But that right now, that's about it. I died on an anthill. Yeah, I don't know. Stop flip-flopping. Flip-flopping's my middle name. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. I fucking mean this. I said this before, but I'm going to say it again. Be careful what you wish for. All you guys out here saying, MBG, come to PC. Come to PC. Do it. Come over here. I don't think you want me over there, bro. I know this sounds so funny, but it's like, I'm not kidding. Everywhere I go, it just gets worse. The moment I go to Steam, Gabe's gonna drop dead. And Steam's getting sold. Okay? I don't think you want me going to Steam. We'll see. I don't know. There's time. There's time. Yeah, I'm being facetious, but like in all seriousness, it kind of feels like that sometimes. Kind of feels like that. Sony's buying Steam. MBG, destroyer of worlds. Unintentionally, of course. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. GTA 6 is set to make $5 billion in its first week. Oh, Lord. How's that boycott going? Oh, man. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just really wanted to believe that the whole... I got a couple more super chats I'm going to read. I just want to say, like, my whole angle on this was like, and I still do, like, I want it to change, man. Like, I want Sony to fucking listen. And I understand that there are people, they're like, they're not going to. Like, give it up. Give it up, MBG, and all you other guys screaming about physical, they're not going to listen to you. And I'm like, but like, what is the alternative? I switched to PC. Gabe dies. Steam immediately starts getting greedy. There's your alternative. Do you conclude that buying any digital, even digital only game is bad for gaming? I mean, at this point, yeah, I feel like buying digitally right now, really, like that more than anything, is sending the wrong message. It depends on how far you want to take this, but that's why I was trying to say, like, if everybody could just buy Wolverine physically, I feel like that could potentially, well, even then, I don't know, because then you got GTA digital only. When was it ever worth it? Have to fight. Ultimately, you need to do what makes you happy. That's PlayStation, not Steam. I'm barely invested, so it's easy for me to be disconnected. Sony lobbed this out and knows 80% of their fan base will cave. Well, that's why I'm saying, like, I would feel very differently. No, I mean, I would still be tethered to Sony, but like my decision on like moving the PC would be different if I knew that yeah, you could play GTA on PC the day it comes out. You could play Wolverine on PC. Like I would feel different about moving the PC. But you know, it's just it's really it's not even just the idea of like starting over with a new digital storefront and digital ecosystem and rebuilding. It's that combined with, and you're missing like games that you want to play. I don't know. I know people are going to be disappointed in me ultimately. Although a lot of people are going to be like, we already knew this, but but I don't know. It's July, guys. It's July 16th. I don't fucking know what's going to happen. Who knows what's going to happen between now and September? Maybe nothing will happen. Maybe a bunch of crazy shit's going to happen. I just, I don't know. I just think that more and more as time goes on, it starts to feel, not even just feel, it's just on display where it's like more and more. You're either like, look, man, you're either in or you're out, and I think something that is hard for me to realize. And this is the perspective of a YouTuber. This is the perspective of a streamer. This is the perspective of somebody is chronically online. Something that's hard for me to realize sometimes is that, like, dude, you, like, literally me, people like in this space, content creators, people who are covering games to this degree, you are the minority. It may not seem like it when you're in it and when you're surrounded by other voices, and you know that's your world basically. Like your world is this discourse, your world is the constant news cycle and all this. But it's like you're all the minority. And I think sometimes that's the hardest thing for me to realize is like, oh, so it's not like literally just you, MBG, like you're the minority. It's like, no, like this whole segment of the games industry of people who care enough to talk about it like this are the minority. And that, I have to admit, is probably the hardest thing for me to truly visualize and realize, where it's like, oh. All right, let me read these super. I'm sorry to keep you guys waiting. Let me see. I got a couple more super chats I missed. Cheese, you're saying, why are you such a ride or die person? I game everywhere because I love gaming. The whole I need to pick one and that's it is so alien to me. It's from my childhood. I mean, this is going to be a crazy answer, Cheese, but I've thought about this too. I think it's a combination of two things. Number one, I still have to figure out if I have bipolar disorder. I don't know if I do. I've shown many signs, and it runs heavily in my family, but apparently a sign of bipolar disorder in some people is extremist like type of thinking, or not extremist, all or nothing mentality. That is a sign of bipolar disorder. It's not. There are many other signs. Like if like what I'm trying to say is a normal person, not normal. It's a rude term to use, but somebody without bipolar disorder can have that all or nothing mentality and not have bipolar. But I've shown other signs of having bipolar. I'm in denial. I don't know. I don't believe I have bipolar disorder, but I've been told numerous times by people that I should probably go figure that out. I have a lot of fear of that, because I've had people in my family that actually, you know, they've been diagnosed with severe bipolar disorder, and I've seen what it can do and what can happen, and people on and off medication, and it scares the shit out of me. It's like I'm not bipolar. No, I'm fine. You know, I'm just being honest with you guys. The second thing, though, assuming I'm not bipolar, I know this is gonna, dude. Geez, this is gonna sound funny. I'm not. You know what? I'm not saying this. People are gonna start using shit against me, and they're gonna start clowning me. And I'm getting too personal. All I'm gonna say is that my ride or die mentality, it stems from my childhood and things I've gone through as a kid, growing into a teenager, into an adult, where I've been forced to make decisions, pick one or the other. And it's tortured me throughout my life. And that's why I am the way I am. Where it's like when I'm basically Cloud Strife. Yeah. No, I basically, yeah, I mean, it sounds funny. It's like vanilla or chocolate. Yeah, you can imagine it like that. We'll make it something silly. Like if I'm standing in the candy aisle, which one are you gonna pick? I'm making it silly, but no, it really is. It's like if I'm like evaluating my own psyche, like why am I like this? It is that reason. Because I've had this, I've just been like this my whole life. You know, it's like I'm an all or nothing type of person. I don't know why. Well, I think I do know why. Again, I'm not going to get into it, but like the idea of having many different options, I know this sounds funny, but it actually overwhelms the shit out of me and makes me feel not uncomfortable. Uncomfortable is the wrong word. That's the wrong word. It makes me just feel totally out of control. Like I know that's a loaded answer, but it's true. It's like I'm like let me put it to you like this. Yeah, anxious is the word. Yeah, not out of control. Like it makes me feel anxious because it makes me feel like I gotta choose. So I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but think of it as like it's like if I were to go to the store, right, and I want to buy like a soda, like I'm going to buy a 12-pack of soda, which I don't do this really. You know, I actually try to stay away from soda. So if I'm going to do this, it sounds more like, yeah, no, it could be OCD. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm going to look into that. You're saying it sounds more like OCD than bipolar disorder. Damn. You know, I didn't think of that. I am kind of, you know what? This would explain a lot. My compulsion with trophy hunting. You guys have heard my conversations with trophy hunting, where I'm like, if I can't platinum a game, it like tortures me, and I feel hurt and not hurt, like it messes with me, and I'm like, I what do you mean I can't platinum it? I need to platinum it. Like, what are you talking about? MEG, read my next message in the chat after this, and I'll explain how I do it. Yeah, you have to explain it to me because I can't settle with it. Third-party PC and Xbox for free cloud saves. PlayStation, Nintendo for first-party exclusives. I thought of that. Yeah, that's an interesting way to go about it. That is an interesting way. Like, and I try to visualize myself doing something like that, where it's like having PC for all my third parties, going to Xbox for a few things here and there. Well, they're going to have exclusives now, apparently. And just basically relegating like the consoles to just exclusives. But I don't know. Like, there's something about that genuinely makes me feel like, you know what it makes me feel like? Makes me feel crazy. No, I'm just kidding. No, in all seriousness, what it makes me feel like, my first intuitive thought is that sounds great and makes total sense. And actually, I can completely understand why normal people would want to do that. I could lie to myself and convince myself I'm going to do that. I'll do it for a month, and then I'm gonna be like, I'm going back. I can't handle all this. Okay? I can't fucking handle all this. And it sounds so stupid. It is stupid. But it's like, guys, what I'm trying to tell you is over the years, I've learned that I'm not all there mentally or emotionally. Okay? I have problems. And, you know, sometimes I just got to go to my safe space. Sometimes you just got to go to your safe space. I rearrange my game room and obsess over the simplest of things. Too many options can make me anxious. A bump on my arm turns into I'm dying. Yeah, you know what? Maybe it's all starting to come to a head, guys. Because, you know, Spartan Rage, what you're mentioning, I do rearrange my shit a lot. I rearrange my shit a lot. I do have a lot of anxiety over, you know, whatever physical ailments I may have. Uh-oh. Am I folding? No, I think I'm beginning I think I'm in the process of learning I might have severe OCD that I've been, like, masking with other things. Oh, God. Yo, what if that is what it is, though? What if it's like MBG has finally seen the light? He's able to now partake in all things gaming because he's properly medicated. I'm not even joking. I don't know. I might have to look into this, guys. But I feel like I'm like one of those people, though, where it's like I have a problem, but I'm okay with my problem. I want to just live with my problem. I don't know. What are we even talking about? Why is this turning into a therapy session? Hashtag not buying PS6. You can't just say you have OCD. You have to be diagnosed. Yeah, no, I know. I mean, these are serious things. I'm joking a little bit here, but no, I mean, I've talked to Mrs. MBG about this numerous times about how there's probably other things I need to look into more deeply if they start to, you know, if it really starts to become a problem as I get older. Because yeah, I mean, like actual proper OCD can be debilitating for people, and it can cause a lot of interference in your life. But I don't know, you know, I'm just at this point taking guesses. But I will tell you this: when I look back at my childhood and what I went through growing up, there are things that kind of do explain a lot. Where I'm like, oh, that makes sense. You know, and I'm kind of like psychoanalyzing my own life, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That adds up. Listen, the Wolverine poster was funny. That was a joke. Destroying the Wolverine. I was laughing because it exploded. Because like I saw people were making fun of me that when I did like a little. And that was the whole point. When I threw the Wolverine poster, I did it super light because I didn't want to like. Well, there's a bunch of shit over here in the other room. I didn't want to like actually destroy anything, and I like tossed it lightly, and it like exploded. I wish I could have filmed it from a different angle because it was shocking. It literally all the pieces just exploded off of it, and the fucking paper went shooting out. I'm like, dude, I threw it like a fairy. Like what? How did that even happen? I mean, I know it's a cheap poster, but it's like it had no right exploding like that. There must have been some kind of weird energy attached to it. All right. I'm sorry. I still have a few more super chats that I have not. When am I doing a room tour? This is the room tour. The other side of the room, I've tried to show it off a couple times, but there's really not a whole lot going on in there. There's some exercise equipment, more foam paneling, two chairs. That's about it. A table. When you tossed the poster, I died. All right. Whose poor super chats did I leave waiting this whole time? I'm so sorry. Drew, you're saying at this rate, console gaming will die in the PlayStation 6 gen. Well, in all seriousness, I don't know. Oh yeah, really quick, beast mode. The only reason I took the Kratos poster being taken down was not intentional. Like that wasn't done because I gotta take down the Kratos. No, I like the Kratos poster. I'm gonna find another spot for it. I'm thinking about maybe putting it over here, but I had to take that down because I know you can't see from this angle. I actually had to put a few more foam panels up because I took a foam panel off to move over my the media cabinet there. And when I took the foam panel off, it ripped a massive chunk of the wall off. Like just all this, like a massive gaping square of paint was just ripped off the wall. And I'm like, I don't know if I have any more of this paint left to cover it up. This was like a custom, I'd probably have to. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put this thing, I'm going to cover it. When I did that, it looked really stupid because like you have the shelf here covering that hole, and the shelf looks fine where it is. Where I had the Kratos poster, it's literally like it's totally asymmetrical. It looked awful, and I'm like, I can't leave it like that. And the only way I would have been able to move the Kratos poster over more is by taking more foam panels down. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not taking any more of these foam panels off. I didn't realize with these foam panels I bought, these ones in particular, holy shit. If you put them on a wall, make sure that's where they're staying. Because once you take them down, you're going to have to redo the wall completely. It's an extremely tall door. So I'm probably going to have to move the Kratos poster over here. So that was not intentional. Or I don't know, maybe I could put it there. I don't know. I like don't want to touch these foam panels ever again. I was so distraught when I ripped that hole in the wall because I'm like, bro. But yes, console gaming, will it die? I mean, in all seriousness, it's I don't know that it's going to die, but it's not looking like it's going to be a healthy generation at all going into the PS6. For PlayStation, for Xbox, and I don't know what the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to do, but yeah, it's not looking good. Mr. Z, you're saying it's bothering you as you think of the future. Most are stuck in the moment. You see how the future will be, and it looks bad from how things used to be. Yeah, and it is that simple sometimes, and I'm just a high-strung person, I've had anxiety my whole life. I'm always thinking about the future. I'm always thinking about the bad. And it's just who I am. And I get annoyed with it myself because it's like, can't I just enjoy things? Can't I just be happy? Like, can't I just be okay? And there are times where I am, but more often than not, it's like there's always something pressing me, and I think it's more normal. I'm not trying to make it sound like it's an abnormal thing. I think a lot of people have anxiety about the future. I think a lot of people are just, it's always about what's next, what's coming up, and you can't live in the future. You can't live in the past. That's why like these days it's all about focusing on being in the moment and being present. And I don't know. I'm not a robot. I'm always going to be thinking about the future. Don't do it. Don't start getting me talking about other things. Cause I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go in some fucking crazy. People ain't ready. I'm not ready. Conditional upgrade. You're saying Sony has never used media that they don't own. Every system needed an upgrade in disc format because game sizes go up. Quad layer Blu-ray is not widely adopted. Oh, that's it. That's interesting. So you're kind of taking the angle, like the possible angle of Sony's reasoning for doing this might be, it would have been to expect like the game sizes would have been way too big, and it either would have had to have been like quad layer Blu-ray or like almost every physical game would have multiple discs. To be honest, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. We don't know what these next gen games are going to look like. We don't know what their storage capacity is going to be. I mean, it's like GTA 6 going to be like 700 gigabytes, and it's like this is why there's no disc, because it would have been like 4 discs. I don't know. I mean, I have to be honest. I didn't really think about that, But yeah, I mean, a lot of these games get compressed and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know that I buy that that's why, but it would be interesting. I'll tell you, if that's the reason, I feel like somebody should have said something, you know? MBG, would you stay on the Pro if they continue PS5 game discs only? Well, that's the thing. Like, at first, I kind of thought that maybe is what they were going to do, where it's like, we're going to keep making PS5 games, but it's only PS5 games prior to January 2028. So there's just like an end limit, you know? I mean, I won't lie to you. I've considered like maybe sticking with PS5 much longer in the name of I'm now going to just focus on collecting physical PS5 games. Because, well, here's the question. There's an alternative angle to this for me on a more personal level of like, think long term here, not just like the next 3 months, but like the next couple of years. There's an alternative angle where it's like, okay, so the PS6 is revealed, and it'll be I'm sure it'll be a great console. Like, I can't imagine Mark Cerny's going to make he's not going to make bad hardware. But there's a question. There's like a bunch of questions. How much is it going to be? Is it going to be really expensive? Probably. No discs, no physical games? Okay. All right. Well, what's really the point? I mean, yeah, the graphics will be better. The lighting will be great. Next gen ray tracing, path tracing, all that shit. Yeah, I have no doubt. But guess what? Games already look fucking phenomenal on the PS5 Pro. I'll get to your direct dono, Rich. Just give me a moment. They already look phenomenal on the PS5 Pro. There's the question that I kind of have at this point, and this might be a huge determining factor. And you know, we talk about like, are you really not going to buy the PS6? Are you really not upgrading to the PS6? I mean, I think there's a lot of people, millions and millions. I think even the casual gamer, the hardcore and the core casual, I think they're all like, I don't know about the PS6, dog. Like, I don't know if is this who do we even need a PS6? I think it's truly going to lie in how many games are cross-gen. And I think there's another separation there. If I were to ask you guys, will every third-party game be cross-gen and still release on the PS5, even if it is digital only? The answer is yes. We know that. The real question is, what about Sony's games? Prior to this announcement, we talked about the idea of Sony doing PlayStation 6 only exclusives. Venom, Fizzant, what else? Maybe the new Uncharted, next Astrobot. Are these games going to be cross-gen? And I'll tell you this right now, like, I am kind of considering going down that road. Again, not immediately right now, but it's just thinking about the long term where it's like, there's going to be the PS5 gen is going to be the last gen of physical games. Maybe that's what I want my focus to be, is like, well, wrap it up in the best way you can. Create that physical collection with PS5. And then if I want to take it further, PS4, PS3, PS2, and then basically just like maybe over a long period of time, just amass this huge physical PlayStation collection. And maybe the PS5 Pro is the last stop. Maybe. I say this because it's like, if everything's going to be cross-gen, like if I were to stay on PlayStation and everything's going to be cross-gen, and I feel like I'm far from the only one asking this question, why the fuck would why would I leave? No, I agree. I want physical games. Like, I would be a day one PS6 buyer if Sony comes out and says we'll have physical PS6 games. I will be a day one fucking buyer. I want to be a day one buyer. I want it to be that way. But that's where it's like, if I'm if this, a part of this for me is the love of physical games. That's not made up. Like, I grew up with physical games, man. And I know most people have, but they still mean something to me. So it's like if the business side of it is cooked, because it's like, yeah, they're going to do what they're going to do. The masses have spoken, whatever. Then there's kind of like this angle for me where, and I didn't really think about it too much, but I'm putting more thought into it now where it's like, maybe it would be cool to just collect PlayStation games now. Which would be like that would take forever. That would take many, many, many years. And I don't know. It's a possibility. It's an angle. Like buying a PS3, buying a PS2, buying a PS1. And I don't mean every PlayStation. I don't mean collecting every PlayStation. That's not going to be me. That's crazy. But I mean just like trying to amass like a really meaningful and substantial collection of physical games. It's tantalizing. It's a thought I've had. I'm thinking about it more and more. But we'll see. We have Buttery Cheeks. He says MBG people need to relax. They're acting like Herman Hulst broke into their house, clapped them, and forced them to play Horizon Hunter's Gathering. LOL. Don't talk to me about Herman Hulst, man. I don't. I'm tired of Herman. Tired of Herman Hulst. That man will never give another interview. Thank you for that, Buttery Cheeks. New Soul or Rich Rod, you're saying stand strong. Hang that wired DualSense between your legs, long and strong. PlayStation gamers that are the only non-soyboy gamers. Bots bend over and eat, and bend over PC eats it. Thank you, Rich. Thank you. I know that's the chat you were begging me to read. You're like, MBG, I got another Direct Ono. Read my Direct Ono. Thank you. Never change, Rich. New Soul says, MBG, keep in mind the whole digital move was brought up 20 years ago, all the way with the PS3. So when they revealed the leaks that PlayStation was on the same page to follow suit on the all digital Xbox, that should have gave the consumer the green light to fight for digital rights on the PS4 and not the PS5. No, I get where you're coming from, New Soul, and you're not wrong about that. It's true that Sony wanted to follow what Microsoft was doing, but changed course at the last second. Because they were like, oh, shit. Xbox is eating shit right now. Let's not do that. But I think what many of us thought, again, maybe naively, is like, okay, Sony, you now know not to do that, right? Right? Like, you see what could have been. So we don't have to worry about that. But give it a generation, give it 2 generations, and they're right back to it, you know? Cheese, you're saying, ask AI what's more common, losing a physical game collection in a house fire or losing your digital game collection. Physical gamers get that insurance. I'm assuming you already looked this up. Yeah, I know GOG, good old games, lets you burn a disc and print the box cover art. That's the answer, I think. I mean, that is amazing. PlayStation should let us do that as well. They're not, I mean, but the thing about GOG is so cool to me. Even though I don't use it, but I'm like, that's so cool. That's such a cool storefront. But publishers kind of, and this is where you reveal, like it's revealed, publishers want this too. Every game that is published for sale on GOG has to go through a rigorous process to ensure it's completely DRM free. And, you know, games are late to it. A lot of games just don't ever release on it. And this is why we say that, like, the fight for digital ownership is going to have to be a thing, man. Really? Are you sure? That's shocking. You're saying even Sony has games on GOG. Really? I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Which games? And we have Wabu Dude says, hey, MBG, hope the neck is feeling better. It's a little bit better. Not sure if this was talked about yet, but looks like Sony is canceling the production of anime Blu-rays as well. They have officially gone full Sith Lord. Really? I mean, we were talking a little bit about the Crunchyroll side of things and the anime side of things. I didn't read that though. That they're canceling. No. Are you sure? Did that just come out? I mean, I could believe it. I could absolutely believe it. The rate things are going. It's dire out here, man. Let me see. Let me see if there's any updates on stuff. Watch Dogs collection leaked for Switch 2. Steve Allison, new executive at Saber, seems to be suggesting that the KOTOR remake is aiming for a 2028 release. V. Scooper. Sony was producing an animated Horizon series. Its status as to whether the series is still in development is unclear. Jesus Christ, man. Like, for the love of all that is holy, do not produce a fucking animated Horizon series. Like, Sony, get a fucking clue, man. Zanarkan, did I miss your super chat, buddy? Hold on. Did it not show it to me? Oh. Oh, that's not cool. Yeah, Zanarkan, I'm sorry, buddy. It didn't show up for me for some reason. I had to refresh it over here on the fan funding. Saying, MBG, the poster that exploded. Was that Wolverine? Did you buy that from Temu? LOL. Also, the cat in the background, is that a new one? Newer than Clark? Yeah, that's Papa. He was my cousin's cat. My cousin who passed away last year. That was his cat, and my aunt had asked me if we'd be willing to take him in. Because he my aunt's getting a little bit older and has problems with her knees and stuff, and so she was having trouble taking care of him, and I said, yeah, we'll take him. And he's a really nice cat. So he is the newest one, newest family member. He's a good guy. There's Luna. Sorry about that, Zanarkan. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't show me your chat originally. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you guys for all the super chats and all the support. We did get 6 members so far on the day. I don't know how much longer I'll be streaming for, probably like another 20 minutes or so. But if you want to get that member goal up, feel free to do so. I appreciate it. Like I said, at some point, we are going to be bringing members content back. Don't know when exactly, but thinking about bringing the members lounge back. Little iffy on that. I know some people miss the members lounge. Damn, look at Luna. And Cheese, you're saying CD Projekt Red owned GOG until they recently sold it back to one of the OG founders. They're just focusing on Witcher and Cyberpunk's IP future now. That's also I had no idea they owned GOG. That's pretty cool. Man, I feel like they should have kept it. That's really cool. Yeah, they're doing like a Witcher 1 remake, Witcher 4. They want to do a Witcher trilogy, 4, 5, and 6. And yeah, Cyberpunk obviously is huge still. Let me see. Let me see here. PlayStation turns comments off on YouTube as fans continue yelling. Hold on. Kotaku reports we're a little over 2 weeks removed from Sony's announcement that physical discs will no longer be manufactured after 2028, and physical media fans are still taking any opportunity they can to find and yell at the company, whether it be on social media, the official PlayStation blog, or its YouTube channel. It's gotten so bad that studios can't so much as promote their games on a PlayStation platform without catching strays, excuse me. But now it looks like Sony might finally be making a move to try to quiet the noise. It's turning off comments on some YouTube videos. Instant Sports 2, a party game that is now available on PS5, might not look like anything out of the ordinary, but its trailer is the first on PlayStation's YouTube channel to have preemptively shut down the comment section before folks can get in to air their physical disc-related grievances. As of the time of this writing, PlayStation has put up several different trailers today, and each of them, whether they're advertising a big update like for Fortnite or a smaller game like Retro Sports parody Pro Jank Footy, is being flooded with pro disc comments with Instant Sports 2. Seems like someone at Sony's YouTube channel is nipping these comments in the bud on the videos at least. It says, hold on, in the time since this post was published, another video, this one for Infinity Nikki's next update, has gone live and the comments are on. So what was the deciding factor with the Instant Sports 2 video? Could the developers have made the request to have the comments turned off on it? Who wants that kind of smoke when you're just trying to release your game? Very interesting. You want... Guys, we need to hit 25 members so I can feed the beast. We need 25 members right now. Right now, or my cat's going to starve. How dare you? Look at how skinny she is. She's skin and bones. 25 members right now. Right? Meow. She has the best fur. Luna, don't tell any of the other cats, but you're my favorite cat to pet. I just like the way her fur feels. All right. So yeah, apparently at least one video on the PlayStation YouTube channel, the comments were turned off, and we don't know if this was by request or if this is a new thing Sony's doing, but goddamn. You know that's pretty bad. Both situations are bad, but I think it is even worse if the developer was like, can you turn the comments off? Christ. Come on, man. What are we doing? If it was just the one, it would seem like it was a request. Damn, Luna, you devoured those. Did I catch your comment? That's because it's a kid's game. And you can't comment on kids' videos, I think, by default. Oh, that's interesting. You might be right about that. I don't know for sure if you're right about that, but that would explain it. That would explain it. YouTube has responded to calls from users to bring back the dislike button for shorts. The company said removing the feature gives the viewer a, quote, better experience. Why doesn't YouTube just have the balls to just, like, if you don't want to have a dislike button, then just fucking remove it. Like, there should be a dislike button. Okay? There should be a dislike button, but it's just like, why do they keep pussyfooting around? Like, we know you want to remove the dislike, just remove it. Okay? Just remove it and move on. But this whole, like, well, we're just gonna, not make it visible, and we're gonna remove it from shorts, and it's gonna be to give you a better experience. It's like, just stop. It's almost like more offensive when they do it like that, where it's like, what do you think? Like, how stupid do you think people are? Come on. Dislike doesn't even function for anything really. They count the same as likes. That's what's. I think that they should just remove likes and dislikes. Let's just get I say this as a fucking YouTuber. I want to see likes and dislikes gone, so that way I and no other YouTuber going forward has to ask you to like this fucking stream. I don't want to have to ask to like the video. I don't want to have to ask to like the stream. Okay? Just let it go. And Zanarkand comes in and he says, you know what, MBG? I like that idea. I'm dropping 5 memberships. Zanarkand, he wants a member train.
All aboard!
Thank you so much for that, buddy. Zanarkand says, do it. Just wait.
Do it! Just do it! Yesterday,
Do it,
you said
YouTube.
tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just
Yeah, Luna.
do it! Do it!
She's looking at me like, I will fuck you up. Thank you for that, Zanarkand. I very much appreciate it. YouTube shorts are ruined now because you can't dislike ones you don't want to see. Algorithms are a mess. Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. Is the whole purpose of likes and dislikes is it was always supposed to, like, I guess, tailor the algorithm to the individual. But these days the algorithms have seemingly taken on a life of their own, and I don't know what influence. I don't know. Algorithms are kind of nightmarish sometimes because they just end up putting you in basically a bubble. And that's like horrible for discoverability. Trying to like see other stuff. Algorithms I think they're just bad. I'm going to be honest. Like when I'm on YouTube, I just always get upset when I'm looking at my recommended because I'm like, what the, I don't know. It's not the algorithm. It's just social media in general. Twitter's awful, dude. Like, I just feel like shit, and that's like one thing I really want to get away from. Like, I know we're always being watched, we're always being listened to. It's very dystopian, but I just really want to spend less time outside of streaming to you guys and doing work on my YouTube channel. I want to spend less time on the internet. I've been saying this for a long time, and I like to think change is coming eventually. Yeah, a lot of people like Twitch better than YouTube. To be honest, man, the only thing that has stopped me from simultaneously streaming on Twitch is the way that their split works is stressful to me. I talked about that before. Where like you have to have a certain amount of monthly paying subs to reach like what they call tier 3 for your split. And I'm like, I don't know if I'd be able to achieve that anytime soon. So in other words, like I'd have to go to Twitch, take on streaming in 2 places at one time, and basically any money that I make from Twitch is substantially less than what I make from YouTube for an undisclosed amount of time. 3 months, 6 months, a year, more than a year. And I'm like, I don't know that that's worth it. If I could comfortably move like enough people over, maybe, but it's not going to happen. So for now, I'm just kind of stuck on YouTube. Twitch plays ads every 10 minutes and they're unskippable. Yeah, this is why I feel like YouTube's going to do that next. I feel like YouTube's going to implement unskippable ads for streamers. Because that's the thing. At least on YouTube, I had the ability, and I just, took advantage of this ability during the stream to turn off monetization because the ads were getting intrusive. So there is that. I mean, I like YouTube. There are things that I think they could definitely improve upon. There's always room for improvement. But the thing that I think makes YouTube difficult to truly, like, it is competitive towards Twitch, but what holds it back is the fact that Twitch is not a video platform, really. YouTube is a video platform, but also a streaming platform, so they have to always keep that in mind. And I think because of that, sometimes streaming takes a little bit of a backseat. Sometimes. All right, guys. We're going to be streaming for about 10 more minutes here. So if you guys want to drop any more support, whether that be memberships, if you want a member gift, if you want to drop a super chat, direct donation, now would be the time to do it before we wrap up here. And Perfect Image, I'm sorry, I missed your direct donation, buddy. You're saying, MBG, I looked into this GOG and Steam allows you to go physical, and I'm not sure what word this is. I've seen YouTube guys do it. Yeah, I've been seeing some stuff pop up on Twitter where like people are making their own physical games straight up through GOG. Gaming Survivor, we were just talking. It's funny. I put Xbox in the title. We didn't even talk about Xbox. Let's talk about Xbox now. So, how dookie is Xbox these days, guys? Pretty dookie, huh? Some things never change. Hold on, there was something regarding Xbox that I wanted to read to you guys. I don't know if it's going to show up now though. There are no benefits to being owned by Microsoft, says Doom developer. Jesus. Oh, Clark is attacking Papa. Oh, no. Oh, no. This cat can't jump. Like, he can, but he won't jump that high. Oh, my God. Oh, man. I just, like, dropped him on his head. Look at how small Clark is. Yeah, I know. He's a fucking monster next to him. Look at how tall he is. Oh, he did a little jump, though. Papa doesn't really jump. All right. An id Software developer says there is no benefit to being owned by Microsoft after the Xbox-owned developer faced mass layoffs one day before the launch of the new Doom DLC expansion. Speaking to game developer, the unnamed source at the Doom dev explained, quote, Microsoft, didn't even wait to see if the product is successful before they got rid of the team. And had Microsoft waited, it would have seen that Doom the Dark Ages Revelations DLC has netted rave reviews on Steam and is one of the top-rated games of 2026 on OpenCritic. Reports say the studio has seen 136 of its total 185 developers laid off by Microsoft in its fifth round of mass layoffs since spending $75 billion to acquire Activision Blizzard. Despite the publisher apparently pushing Bethesda to make more Doom games, Xbox saw it fit seemingly to gut the team behind the iconic franchise. Quote, there is no benefits to being owned by Microsoft, the developer continues. In fact, they have destroyed immense amounts of value that I don't even think they're aware of. Unfortunately, even if you release a good and successful game now, you're still not safe. Doom the Dark Ages was the biggest launch in id's history last year in 2025. I mean, so let's talk about this for a little bit. I've seen people are very, very upset at Microsoft for what they have done to specifically id Software. Like, people are upset at Microsoft for numerous reasons, but I think the reason why people are really pissed off is because I don't think id did anything wrong. Like, they put out multiple games in the last decade. All those games have been highly rated and seemingly have sold well enough. But beyond that, id is known for having deep institutional knowledge, the id Tech team. And what's interesting about hearing from this developer, because apparently this was an anonymous dev that just straight up was like, Microsoft didn't even wait to let us release our DLC, and yeah, it gets gutted before Halo Studios. Like, dude, I know I've been so transfixed on everything PlayStation, understandably so, but God, man, like, it is painful to see that every fucking thing that I and many other people said about Xbox has just come to pass, man. Like, it's been true, where it's like they were the last ones that should be acquiring, publishers like Bethesda and Activision Blizzard, because they're not the right stewards. They don't know what they're doing. They've never known what they're doing, man. They've never known. And all they seemingly know how to do now is cut, deeper and deeper and deeper, because it's like, we're just losing money. And it's like, yeah, but why are you losing money? You're fucking losing money because of your stupid ass decisions. Citizen, I'm not making this about Asha Sharma, because who fucking knows what her time at Xbox is going to be like once she starts changing shit. But this is the whole Phil Spencer era, which is the era that we covered. And it's like, whatever, man. I'm just like disillusioned to a point where it's like, I don't even know what to say, except that none of this is surprising. Sony has their own fucking world of shit right now for being greedy and anti-consumer, but Microsoft, people are fucking dumb, man. Like, I'm just gonna say it. Like, people are like, they're trying to, and I get it. It's like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. So they didn't close any studios. That's good. They didn't cancel any games. That's good. But they're just fucking destroying all their studios from the inside out. It's almost like it could be seen almost, I don't want to say worse, but it's like, you didn't shut the studio down, but what are they now? They're nothing. It's like, what did you really do? I don't know. No. War! So Microsoft lets studios make games that didn't sell. You had a stream shitting on Doom for not selling good last year. You clowned it. Now Microsoft expects better. I don't think I clowned it. I think you're gaslighting me, Cheese. I don't recall clowning Doom. Actually, if I recall, what I said about Doom is like, it's not for, like, the latest one is not. I'm good. Oh, here we go. Here we go with the Xbox Defense Force. It can only, no, how did I clown Doom? Oh, you're talking about, I remember now. You're talking about because of Game Pass. I wasn't clowning the game. No. The game seemed very good. Or at the very least, like, I if I recall correctly, I said over and over again, I said that if you're a Doom, it seems like Doom the Dark Ages is going to satiate and satisfy Doom fans. That's what I said. But yeah, and I still will clown on its sales. But here's why. I'm not clowning on id, and I'm not clowning on the game itself. I'm clowning on, once again, Phil Spencer and the Game Pass shit. Where it's like, if this game, if the reason why id is getting gutted is because this game didn't sell that well, but they were out here celebrating the amount of players, but the players didn't matter because they were all through, most of them were through Game Pass. And it's like, then what the, so like, in other words, everything we said about Game Pass is true. Like, what's done is done, but it's like, this didn't have to happen. That's what pisses me off, is it's like, Phil Spencer's failure cannot be understated at this point, where it's like, yeah, this does fall on him and all the people that surrounded him, whether they were internally at Microsoft or externally with these fucking YouTubers glazing Game Pass. It didn't have to be like this. Damn, you're right. There you go, Arnie Vesper. But it's just so frustrating because it's like, studios are now, I mean, some studios you can understand. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my God, can you believe what happened to Compulsion Games? Yes, I can, actually. Game Pass or not, I can believe it. So it's not like I'm trying to make it sound like it's the reasoning is exactly the same for every studio, but id Software, I think the reason why people are so frustrated at this right now is because this one is the one that feels like, what the fuck, dude? And yes, it's an example of, we're going to buy Bethesda, we're going to take these games that otherwise we would have asked you to buy, and instead of buying them, we're going to ask you to subscribe to Game Pass. And then once we realize, oh my God, we're not making enough money, Phil's going to get his golden parachute, and this studio is getting gutted. And this studio is not just some studio. It's stuff like that where it's like, somebody should have stopped Phil. This is what we were. This is why we were saying, like, listen, Microsoft, focus on trying to compete with Sony by getting people to buy your games, to buy your exclusives. Okay, let go of the Game Pass shit. The Game Pass, I tried to tell him, man. I tried so hard to tell him, like, celebrate the deal you're getting, but understand, like, there's probably something. Understand this isn't going to last, because it literally can't. It literally cannot. Financially speaking, it cannot last. It's not sustainable. Unless we find out Game Pass is at 60 or 70 million subs. And it's, I don't know, man. It would have been so much better, in my opinion, to see Microsoft last generation, for the last 10 years, try to match Sony as best they could, not by literally copying them note for note, but by just sticking to that more traditional way of doing things. Because I'm not saying there wouldn't have been failures. There still would have been failures. Yes, there still would have been layoffs. Yes, there probably still would have been studio closures. But at least then it's like, I think that it wouldn't be as bad. It would have sustained something. It would have preserved more of it. And looking at where things are headed, and that's the ultimate irony in all of this. The ultimate irony is, even if you disagree with that sentiment, well, guess what? That's where they're headed now anyway. They're going right back to where they started. What do you think Asha's going to do? What do you think is happening with Call of Duty? They're like, you're fucking buying Call of Duty this year. I have a friend, literally, where he played Black Ops 6 when it came out, and he bought, the battle passes and bought a couple skins, and he was all in, but he was playing it through Game Pass. This year, he's like, I'm not fucking buying Call of Duty. In fact, I think his words explicitly, his words were, I'm not paying for another Call of Duty. And I'm like, Microsoft, you're fucking stupid. Like, it's just like straight up, like, you're so stupid. Like, you didn't have to put Call of Duty in Game Pass. You, like, it was going fine the way it was, but you're like, no, we got to put it in there anyway, man. And it's like, okay, I guess, but you know you're going to hurt your sales and lose a bunch of money. And they're like, well, that's okay. It's all in the name of getting more subscribers. And I'm like, but what are you going to do if you don't get those subscribers? Then we're just going to take it out. Yeah, that's going to go real well. I don't know, man. People are, I don't know. Xbox is, I think Sony, so here's my, Sony has proven to be the villain. Xbox has proven to be the moron. And it's a bad combo. Let me tell you, it's a fucking bad combo. We don't want Sony to be the fucking mega villain, and we don't want Xbox to be the moron in the room anymore. Who knows what Xbox is going to be with Asha Sharma, but I don't know. It's just like, this is, I do feel as though people have definitely, and I'm not expecting everybody to go like nuclear on it. It is what it is. Like, we can't stop it from happening. What's done is done, like I said. But I don't know. Cheese, you're saying, but what do people want? Microsoft allowed studios freedom to make weird games nobody wants. Now they want them to make only Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and Halo type games. I mean, this is where, like, I know I'm screeching at Phil. I will give Phil this credit. I think he does at least deserve this credit. I think it was misguided. Like, I think his heart was in the right place. But this is where, unfortunately, sometimes you do see, like, you start to see the intersection of, like, there's running good business, there's doing good business, and then there's, going full artsy fartsy, And I think Phil's mindset was these games can be justified. Like, we can justify greenlighting this shit. Because, like, yeah, a lot of the stuff they greenlit, it's like, if this is supposed to be a traditional game that's going to be sold on a storefront or on store shelves, there ain't no way this is getting greenlit and getting funding. There's no market for this. I think the mentality was, yeah, but Game Pass allows us to kind of get around that, and take these risks. And these studios can feel an assurance that even if your game doesn't really succeed in the traditional way, if it can help us grow Game Pass. But I think what I said this not many years ago, but I said this throughout the years, and I'll say it again, and I think it's more pertinent than ever before, and it's been proven true. It's that, like, it turns out that whether you want somebody to pay $70 for your game or $1 to enter a subscription service to play your game, the game's got to be good and appealing. And I know it almost doesn't make sense, because it's like, wait, so you're saying, like, it doesn't matter, this artsy fartsy game that we greenlit, it doesn't really matter that we're not asking for full price and we're giving it to you on a sub-service? No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. Because that's not what people want. And I think what I'm trying to say is, I think we have our answer. Cheese. I think our answer is that what the direction Microsoft is going in is what ultimately people want. It's what the masses want. And there is a kind of through line between what Sony's doing and what Microsoft is doing, even though they're in different spaces. One's about digital and physical games. The other is about the type of games you're making. But you start to see that, like, both are really kind of leaning back on and adhering to, this is what the masses want. Because, yes, the masses will tell you, fuck games like South of Midnight and Senua Saga and Kiln and all this shit. We want another Fallout. We want another Elder Scrolls. That's what the masses will tell you. And, would it have been wiser, Phil, to just immediately from the start say, yeah, but this is where, and I'll say, I'm going to read this next super chat, but I just want to say, this is where I feel like you can detect, especially by how different things are being run by Asha Sharma, that the only way Phil was able to acquire these studios, because keep in mind, every studio, every publisher Microsoft acquired was done willingly. They were not acquired by force. I think Phil had to be convincing, and I think this is one of the ways he convinced them, is like, we're not going to change a thing. Like, yeah, Phil, you're not, but you're going to retire. And when that happens, then what? And now we see. And that's why so many of these, that's why people are making jokes about Todd Howard, where he's like, what the fuck, bro? Like, Todd Howard has no power anymore. It's like, when Phil was there, you had power. But this isn't Phil's Xbox anymore. This is going to be Asha's Xbox. And under Asha's Xbox, I don't think you have any power. So, anyway, we have a super chat from Monster Pool. It says, yo, PlayStation staffer here. We all hate the disc news as much as everyone else. Keep up the good fight, folks. Can't promise you it's being seen. I can promise you it's being seen. Well, that is great. If that's true, if you really are working at PlayStation, that's great news. I would hope it's being seen, and that's reassuring. I still do have, even though a lot of the stream has been much more sobering, I still do have a small layer of hope that we will see Sony do something. I still do believe, though, the bigger fight is ahead of us with the PS6. But there's a lot of time, like I said, a lot of time. But thank you for the super chat, and thank you for letting us know. I think a lot of people are going to be happy to hear that. Irvin says, I missed you shitting on Xbox. Well, hold on. There was another thing I wanted to read here, because this is stuff I'm seeing appear in the PS5 subreddit, by the way. I'm not even really looking for it. When I was looking over here's another one. Games Radar. The title says, making Fallout and Elder Scrolls games will be harder than ever now following Xbox cuts, says laid off Bethesda devs, calling the loss of institutional knowledge staggering. And this is where I think Asha Sharma could very well be the worst thing that ever happens to Xbox. And I'm going to tell you why. I think right now it's easy for her to look like the good guy, so to speak, because she's undoing a lot of the previous mistakes. She's, also trying to talk to the fans. She's bringing back exclusives. But it's like, well, yeah, we'll see, right? Yeah, she was coming from the head of Microsoft's AI, so maybe AI will... It's up in the air, but it's like the loss of institutional knowledge in mass that is occurring right now is going to do one of two things. Your upcoming Elder Scrolls and Fallout and Bethesda games are fucking cooked, or there's a plan B here. And the plan B very well could be some kind of AI shit that we are not privy to yet, that it's like we don't need institutional knowledge when we have AI that also has that institutional knowledge that, we're using to replace you. We will see. We will see. But I do think people are too quick to assume. I always want to remind people of this. It's not because I want Xbox players to feel like shit. It's not. It's just because I want them to keep this in mind for in case the other shoe drops, which it usually does when the other shoe drops. It's that everybody thought Phil was the savior too. Believe me when I tell you, I could go back and I could find all of it if I really wanted to. You could look for it yourself if you wanted to, and it's all there, where everybody for the first 3 to 4 years of Phil Spencer's tenure, they were like, oh my God, this is the guy. They were doing the exact same thing, and Phil was doing the exact same thing that Asha's doing right now, talking right to the fans. What do you guys want? We'll start doing it. You want backwards compatibility? We'll start doing that. And there's good in that. There's good in that. And that's how they get their footing. But it's like, we cannot assume at this point to know. We cannot assume that the outcome of what Asha's going to do will be any better or any worse than what Phil tried to do. But she's betting on the big stuff. And so from that perspective, it's like, maybe. But can you make the big stuff now that you just cut all these devs? You just trimmed all the fat, so to speak. Can you even make this stuff anymore? I said when she was hired she's there to make them slim and easier to sell. Nobody wanted to listen. I mean, that's another thing people are bringing up too. They're like, this is all in. It's because Asha's not here to truly lead Xbox into the future. She's here to sell them. And I'm like, looking at what's going on, I'm like, uh-oh. It's a possibility. They have 20K staff. Jesus. Well, this article says Bethesda Game Studios has been feeling the impact following Microsoft's plan to cut over 3,200 employees at Xbox, with the company's union representatives reporting a big loss of dozens of programmers, artists, designers, and testers. Unsurprisingly, these layoffs will likely have an impact on Bethesda's ongoing and future projects like The Elder Scrolls 6, which fans have been eagerly waiting for nearly 15 years now. Jeez. Wow. Former developers affected by the widespread cuts from Microsoft report as much too, with such sources telling game developer that Bethesda will feel the blow of the situation in its work on such new games. Bethesda Game Studios has lost a lot of talent this week, one ex-developer says. Xbox says they want to focus on their core franchises like Fallout and Elder Scrolls, but it's going to be harder than ever now. In other words, this is a large setback for Bethesda as the remaining folks working on the big series struggle to balance the shockwaves from the layoffs with a quick enough recovery so that development might move along. It's not just Bethesda either. As another source tells the outlet, the institutional knowledge that has been lost or will be lost completely as individuals leave the gaming industry altogether is staggering. Those that are left must be scrambling to pick up the pieces. That's a troubling thought to try to stomach, to say the least, but it does seem to reflect the current industry's climate. Things are undeniably turbulent. This all lines up with what Bethesda has recently been saying, too, that the Elder Scrolls 6 will be hurt and potentially delayed by the Microsoft layoffs, and that they've had, quote, a crushing effect on the morale at the company. I mean, you know what the craziest part about this is, too, and why it does kind of look grim for the Xbox Studio side of things. What makes it worse is that there's like thousands, like what, another 1,600 layoffs that are going to happen over the next fiscal year that haven't happened yet. So in other words, like all of these devs in all of these studios have to work harder than ever and scramble to try to make these games. And as they say, pick up the pieces, knowing that you're probably next. Oh, your time's coming, just not today, 3 months from now. I'm like, this is a fucking disaster beyond anything I could have imagined, honestly. Where it's like all the things that we feared with Microsoft are coming true. And I understand some people, it's for some people, they're still just playing on Xbox and enjoying it. And, it's fine. It's just like, I don't have much hope, man. The few games that I was really holding on to from Xbox are seemingly all gone. Like State of Decay 3 is still coming, which I'm so grateful for that. Like I'm really glad they didn't cancel that. I'm going to play that, but they're gone. They're done. They're not part of I'll play that at the end, Gaming Survivor. They're not part of Xbox anymore. Oh my God. There's no way. There's no way you made a song titled Mystics Disc Collection. Are you serious? No, well, see, the thing is, Forza, I mean, one game can't do all this heavy lifting. The success of Forza can't protect all these studios and all these other games. But it's like, yeah, I still care about Forza as well. That's true. Tell that to Spider-Man. It's just like, State of Decay is not part of Xbox now. And actually, I think it was confirmed that State of Decay is not obligated to release in the Game Pass. That's crazy. I'll play it in just a minute. Hold on. There's no way, bro. Ninja Theory with their next game, Senua, not going to be part of Xbox. And now Blade, if it doesn't get canceled, if Arcane Leon gets, Microsoft's trying to get rid of him, it's not going to be part of Xbox. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, these are literally the games outside of Forza that have kept me interested to any degree in Xbox. And they're just, I mean, sure, they still have like Call of Duty and stuff, but Jesus, man. What happened? We don't know who owns these studios now. Stop it. Stop, dude. Microsoft saw the alpha gameplay and they're like, you guys are going to have to go. I mean, I'm not going to say, I don't want to overglaze. Undead Labs fucked up, to a degree, where it's like they were acquired in 2018, bro. And yeah, the alpha gameplay, even as somebody who's excited to play it, I'm like, oh my God. Like, dude, this is like 7 years. What are you doing? Like, this is what you cooked up in 7 years? 7, 8 years? Like, bro, what? I'll play it. And I'm glad that it's going to see the light of day, but like, Jesus, I don't know that I can, at least in the case of Undead Labs, I don't know that I can look at Microsoft and be like, that was the wrong choice, bro. I mean, that's crazy. No game that looks like State of Decay 2 should take that long. And then I still think it looks good, but it's like, that's not a 7 or 8 year cycle. I don't think it's lazy devs. No, I think it's just like, if I understand correctly, Undead Labs has had a lot of issues. They've had a lot of issues of management. The original founder left. I think the game got rebooted. I mean, it's not shocking to see. The Blade situation is kind of shocking. Arcane Leon that's a little bit shocking. But yeah, I understand why they did it with Hellblade or Ninja Theory. Compulsion, Double Fine, Undead Labs. I get it, but it's just like, I don't know, man. At this point, when I look at the future of Xbox, I don't know that there's a whole lot that gets me really super excited at all. I mean, I'm still looking forward to Forza. Like, I still think Forza, you know, and Fable looks like it could be promising as well. And I mean, I know people are excited for Gear. I don't know. Gears, it looks good. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's just, I'm not rooting against Xbox at this point, only because it's like, I don't think it could get worse. Like, there is still a hope in me. Granted, this is like an ember. This is a little ember sitting on the ground. You know, every time the wind blows, it lights up just a little bit. There's like a hope in me that, like, if somehow they figure this out and like Xbox gets streamlined, console focus, AAA focus, exclusives, yeah, like from Dark Souls, maybe, just maybe, Sony will see that as competition again. But then again, it's like, bro, their biggest and best sellers are still selling on PlayStation. And then you see why Sony is like, we don't give a fuck. All right, guys, this is it. This is the final call. I did extend the stream a little bit. I'm going to play a song that was sent to me. It's 3.5 minutes by Gaming Survivor called Mystic's Disc Collection, which I'm sure he would love this song. I can only imagine, but it does feel appropriate. So as we listen to this song, if you want to drop any more support, we're sitting at 11 members on the day. If you want to add to that, help us get to that 25 goal, feel free to do that. Any more super chats or direct donos, you know what to do. But let's check this out. Okay. This one's called Mystic's Disc Collection. Oh, Jesus.
Mystic sat there still, boxed by the blue lit wall.
Damn.
He held up an old game case.
It's gonna be a sad one.
It was his last call. The tray was clean and silver. The stack was lined like prayer.
I hate you guys.
The news came down the wire and turned the room to air. He shook his head slow, like a man at a wake. Said, don't cut the heart out, just to change the shape. Bring the drive back.
Bring the drive back.
Bring the drive back.
God damn.
My old disc still sings. Bring the drive back. Bring the drive back.
We have to send this to Mystic.
Don't break that thing. Bring the drive back.
Bring the drive back, Sony.
Now the shelf looks lonely, all those spines in a row.
Break out your lighters.
Little plastic memories that only he could know.
Don't cut the heart out just to
Traded
change the
chats
shape.
and uploads for nights with single player grace. Now every case he reaches for just falls out of place. He wears that same old frown like a Sunday coat. Says some things you keep close or the whole house floats. Bring the drive back.
Why is it so good?
My old disc still sings.
Oh,
Bring the
man.
drive back.
It's catchy.
Bring the drive back.
Why is it so catchy?
Don't break that thing.
Irfan is scared.
Bring the drive back.
We got that twang.
Old Mystic's got a heavy heart in a room too bright and bare. He's thinking about the little clicks and the comfort they used to share. If you hear him in the quiet, It's not rage, it's just the ache for a stack of saved up stories and the sound a disc couldn't make. Bring the drive back.
Sound a disc could make.
Bring the drive back.
Dude, what the? This is too good.
My old disc still sing. Bring the drive back.
I'm not a fan of country, but this is good.
Don't break that thing.
Damn, man.
Bring the drive back. Bring the drive back. Let
Holy
the
shit.
old songs ring. Bring the drive back.
Damn, man. It like kind of it kind of hits. Like, I know it's not real, but it kind of hits. You know, you just kind of feel it. Shit. Gaming Survivor, if you want to post that one more time in the chat for anybody who wants to listen to it on their own, sure somebody's gonna want to send that to Mystic. Oh man. They need to make a video like the ASPCA. Instead of animals, they have gamers trying to insert a disc into a discless system. Oh man. Irfan, you're saying read my last. Let me see. It's the last thing it says you said was you're giving credit to Gaming Survivor. You really liked it. MBG, I sent you a report yesterday that the PS6 is expected to cost $600 to $800, expecting Sony to price it at $1,000, so people will attack them is unlikely to happen, at least not in the way you're expecting. We'll see, Irfan. I'll believe it when I see it, bro. I will believe it when I see it. But man, that was a good one. I think that one was catchy. That one was catchy. It I think it perfectly captures the mood and the tone, generally speaking, of physical disc game buyers and collectors for PlayStation right now. And yeah, Mystic, I feel like, is not at the center of it, but like he's a huge part of it, where like he represents that tried and true PlayStation buyer and player that like has the biggest collection, you know. That was a good one. I liked it. Damn you, Sony. Damn you. All right, guys. I think that's going to wrap up today's stream. Just wanted to keep it a little bit more on the chill side today. I mean, although we did talk more about PlayStation and Xbox and gaming than I expected. I thought we were going to talk about other stuff too, like just random shit. But oh, you want to make me a nice birthday song? Thank you. September 30th. September 30th is my birthday. Ray, what do you want the credit for? You're got you. You're saying if they do end up making that commercial, you know, sad music playing in the background, gamers trying to put their discs in. Oh my God, that sounds crazy. We'll make sure you get the credit, Ray. You ain't getting the credit. He wants to be the executive producer. Oh man. Yeah, I'm still watching Married with Children with Mrs. MBG, and I'm on like season 9. And for anybody who's watched the entirety of that series, do you remember the episode where him and his daughter Al and his daughter Kelly decided to make a movie, like a small film, and it was about shoes, like because he's a shoe salesman? Oh, that was a funny episode, and it was actually successful, and it like immediately goes to his head, and he tries to make like an action movie. He sells out. It was funny. That show's great. I love that show. All right, guys. That's going to wrap up today. I will let you know, I don't know if we're going to be streaming tomorrow or not. There's a chance we'll be off tomorrow on Saturday, and I'm going to try to rest up to hit the ground running on Sunday and get back to some regularly scheduled content. We're going to continue to cover this situation with PlayStation. It's not going anywhere, but At the same time though, like there's other things I got to start moving on to. I have noticed, the past couple of streams, the past couple of days, like some people are definitely they're like, we want to talk about some other topics as well. This isn't literally the only thing happening in gaming, but it's not going anywhere. But I am going to start to incorporate a little bit more variety. I just still hope that Sony changes their decision on this, but you know, I'm clearly prepared for them not to. But we'll see what the upcoming weeks bring. All right. So just make sure you have notifications turned on because again, there is a chance I might go live tomorrow. It's up in the air right now. Saturday I'll be off, and then we'll for sure be back here on Sunday. Okay. So before I head out, I want to thank you guys for all your support. If you dropped any super chats, if you became a member, member gifts, direct donations, thank you all so much for that. I can only do what I do here because you guys make it possible. So really appreciate that. And also want to make sure to give a shout out to Devil Shooter. Devil Shooter does the timestamps for the streams. So if you see Devil Shooter with those timestamps, be sure to give him some thanks, show him some love. I know he appreciates it. Devil Shooter, thank you for what you do, man. Make sure you hit that like button. And that's it, guys. I will see you again very soon. But until then, take care, everyone.